Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo.
Welcome to Vedgurudev's live Kriya Yoga Q&A Satsang. We changed the name a little bit, but it's the same concept here at the Kriya Yoga School. Last week, we took a week off. I had some family business I had to take care of. But now we're back here Wednesday, March 19th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm joined by our member, Veronica. How you doing today, Veronica?
Great. Thrilled to be here for another Satsang. We'll see where the conversations go. It's always a surprise and see who shows up. So maybe it's just you and me, and maybe we'll see if people out on YouTube have some questions too. But I'm sure we'll have a great conversation. I'm thrilled.
Yes. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Those questions have been building up for an extra week.
Well, hopefully have enough interesting ones. I guess I'll just dive right in. What is your definition of consciousness?
Well, this is an interesting question because a lot of people define it different ways, but I would say my definition of consciousness is your soul, your inner self. It's like the energy that animates your body. Like your consciousness is your higher self, I would say. So some people define it as their soul. Some people define it as consciousness or their inner self. Or in yoga they say Atman, which means your soul, your inner self, your consciousness. So I like when my guru used to say Jiva is becoming Shiva, which means like the physical person is becoming the pure consciousness, and they would define Lord Shiva as pure consciousness. So it's like the divine energy that animates your body, that flows through your body. So it's like your Shakti, your prana, your that flows through your body, that animates your body, I would say.
Yeah, and like sometimes I don't know, we're like in different states of consciousness, like maybe we're like half like that half sleep state, or like maybe we drank too much, or we're high on drugs, or I don't know. I feel like there's like all kinds of different states of consciousness, and like I don't know, maybe like just different strands of consciousness.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like consciousness can't be defined with one thing. There's different levels of consciousness. You're always in different states of consciousness. That's why in Kriya Yoga, we're always trying to rise our consciousness, make it higher. So like all the techniques we do in our school are basically raising our consciousness, because we don't want to be stuck in the lower consciousness.
Yeah.
In my case, majority of my life, I was stuck in lower consciousness. So it's like a breath of fresh air to raise out of that lower consciousness, that kind of sleeping, kind of fatigue, kind of lower state, into a higher, more blissful, divine kind of state. So as you know, in our school, all of our techniques are raising from the lower consciousness to the higher consciousness with our breath in meditation, or any kriya we do in kriya yoga. We're always raising our consciousness up, always. So that's been a real eye opener for me in my path. Just
Yeah.
raising my consciousness, not being set or in the dormant lower consciousness, you know. Like my guru would say, we don't want to roll in the mud with the pigs, we wear all white, you know. We want to keep our clothes clean. So
True.
just
Yeah.
getting out of that mud kind of state of lower consciousness and cleaning yourself off and shining in the divine light of higher consciousness is always a beautiful thing.
Yeah, like when when I've gotten angry in the past, it's like I don't even know who that person is. It's just like it's a totally different person. Like when you're angry, or like when you're sad or miserable, like you're like in a totally different level. It's like I don't even recognize that person, especially when I get really angry. It's just like I don't even know who that person is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like before I start on the path of Kriya Yoga, sometimes I look at my DJ pictures or DJ awards or whatever, and I don't even recognize who that is. Like, who won that? You won it. Uh, I don't even
Yeah.
resonate with that person no more. I don't even know. And in your case, if you look back, like when we started the Kriya Yoga School, the the epic transformation you've made in the last year, you're probably like, wow, I don't even recognize myself from a year ago.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understand completely, because yeah, I don't recognize myself pre Kriya Yoga path or journey. I was like, who's that guy?
Yeah. I don't know. Speaking about that, it's like people. I don't know if people do this to you, but people like you've changed. You're different. I feel like people want to keep you in a certain box. They don't like it if you change. They like to keep you a certain way, and it's very disheartening if you seem different. If you like improve yourself or you get worse. I don't know. That's like everybody wants to put you into a category.
Well, you
So
become a mirror to them, like,
yeah,
and it makes them look at their inner self, and they don't like looking at their inner self. They find comfort in living in the Maya delusional world. They don't want to look at themselves. And when you become better, it shines a light on them, and it makes them feel uncomfortable.
yeah.
Like,
You got to get to work.
I don't want to do the inner work. I just want to be here. So it's better for me to drag other people down instead of me doing the inner work. So yeah, it's a good mirror to them. Like, but you shouldn't let that dishearten you. If
Yeah,
they don't understand the path of Kriya Yoga, it's their problem, not our problem.
yeah. I got to be who I need to be.
Namaste,
Namaste.
Paul.
Namaste. Namaste.
How you how you doing today? You still in the Philippines?
That I am.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah, I heard what you were just saying. And I was just thinking like how I was watching like everything that they're watching down there. And like we kind of got into a little argument because, they're watching like all kinds of bloody boxing stuff and just like ridiculous, just mind numbing stuff, that to me, I can't tolerate it anymore. But, I kind of was, talking to my wife about it, and I was just like, well, that's, what they like to watch. And it's just like, there's no way I can only like just tell her that I don't think it's good, but, it's going to be up to them. Sometimes they watch, I like the nature stuff, they're watching this one called Cobra. These guys catch cobras that like get into people's houses, or I guess there's a lot of cobras around here, and they like sometimes cause a nuisance. I like those types of, like real life stuff. I don't like all the other crap, but so yeah, they have to come to their, to their spiritual awakening in their own time and start realizing it of their own accord. And I cannot hurry them along as I wish to.
Yeah, I understand because I can relate. I mean, Thailand is pretty similar to the Philippines. Philippines is probably more westernized, but like their soap operas they watch are totally trash to me, if you
Oh
understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is worse than a horror movie for my consciousness. But like I was telling Veronica, they find comfort in the junk they fill their mind with, if you know what I'm saying. So, and I understand, like when you're on the spiritual path, it's a lonely kind of self individual kind of path, and you feel like no one understands you on the path because they're so set in their ways, and they're so that, like they said in the Matrix, ignorance is bliss. Like the guy in the Matrix didn't want to be awakened. He just wanted to eat his steak, and he just wanted to enjoy his ignorance. So a lot of people are set in those ways. They love the TV shows they love, and it's hard to change them. And they don't want you to change because they want you to roll in the mud with them, if you know what I'm saying. So it's a difficult path, to for people to relate to. If people are down here in lower consciousness and you're on higher consciousness, it's cats can't relate to dogs, if you know what I'm saying, or enlightened beings can't relate to NPCs, if you know what I'm saying. It's a difficult thing, but I like the quote in the Bible, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil." So
Yeah.
even me, when I go out in the world, I feel all the lower consciousness looking at me, pinging my shield. Their meteors are hitting my atmosphere, if you know what I'm saying. So I I just try to keep on the path. It reminds me when I went to the Himalayan mountains and I would see different yogis. They would have CDs, let's say like levitating or different things. My guru just be would be like, keep walking, and I'll be like, Baba, did you see that? He'd be like, see what? Keep walking. So no matter what these people are doing and what they're attached to, we just keep walking forward. We don't get attached to it. Because once you start going down that rabbit hole, you start getting attached to, why do they do this or why do they do that, and you just realize nothing's going to really happen the way you want it to happen. So you just kind of be the best person you could do and do your inner work the best you can, and see what happens at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, I just posted. David Wilcock is also live right now, and
Oh,
I posted a thing on the website, and it's called Blood Moon Yoga. So the first
Mm.
part of it, he's talking a lot of concepts about yoga, and he's wearing his mala beads also,
Oh, cool.
and so he goes into a lot of principles of yoga, and about pain blocking the flow of prana, and that, like how he's
Mm.
just
Daddy Paul, are you coming with us in the park?
later. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Also, talking about the JFK files have been released, part of it, so that should be interesting. I haven't watched the whole thing because he goes on for like 5 hours, and it just started. Well, it might be done by now, but I'm interested to see what else they have to say about that. And also here in the Philippines, the president, I don't know if you heard, was arrested by the ICC,
Mm.
some type of international police, on charges of crimes against humanity, which the reason being he was waging a big drug war, and they're saying like a lot of people were killed because of his actions or whatnot. But of course that's going to happen. But it relates back to what happened to Kennedy, because I just watched read the book, that Vedagurudev has also read, Behold a Pale Horse, and it goes all into that. And Kennedy found out the CIA was the people that were running the drugs. They are running the drugs. And additionally, about the extraterrestrial topic, that they were concealing that, and he was about to release that information, so they bumped him off. And then there was this General Bo Griggs or something who went to Southeast Asia, and he also found out about our own government was running the drugs. And our President Bush, who was the head of the Zapata oil, had oil rigs out in the sea. So they would use those oil rigs to avoid the customs and stuff, because the drug runners would come in, drop it off at the oil rig, and then those oil rigs, because they're part of the continental U.S., would not have to go through any type of inspections, and they'd run it in like that. So just, the treason and all the horrible stuff. But so I realized that they're putting, and of course, the root of all evil of the Illuminati or cabal or whatever you want to call them is in Geneva, Switzerland, or The Hague, So that's where they brought that president of the Philippines, and they're doing this because they want the drugs. They don't like him getting in the way of their money-making machine. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting.
Yeah, when you really step back from the TV, you begin to see that they don't care about us. Actually, we're an obstacle for them in their grand scheme of things, their new world order or whatever. So you think that your government is supposed to protect and serve you, but they don't have your best interest in mind. Let's say that it's more of a money laundering scheme, if you know what I'm saying. Like you can see with this Doge thing, their secret government plans and their black operations, or whatever you call it. They're just taking your dollars and buying a boat with it, if you know what I'm saying. Making up a fake story.
Without me? You can't wait?
It's later, we're going to that.
Okay, you guys go, and I will just do this.
But I think it's good, like this David Wilcox, no matter how much they're into conspiracy or whatever is really going on, they still understand the science of yoga. There's another guy who used to live in Thailand. I don't know if he still does. That Chad interviewed one time. I think his name was Eric Dubay, maybe. He's into yoga a lot too. So I looked at his videos, and he was practicing yoga in the park in Bangkok. So I was like, cool. So I appreciate that they recognize the importance of yoga and meditation and, this type of stuff, doing asanas. So that's beautiful. So blood yoga, Kriya yoga, any yoga is good in my book. I saw on TV they had goat yoga, where they would do a yoga posture and a goat would stand on top of them. And I was like, well, okay, I guess it's yoga,
Yeah.
Why not? It's better than using drugs or destroying your body with misinformation, or whatever, So
Yeah, do mountain posts, have the goat climb you.
one time I was in America, and a guy was like, I was doing yoga in the park in America, and he was like, oh, you do yoga? I do paddleboard yoga. And I was like, how do you do yoga on a paddleboard? I was trying to wrap my mind around it and figure it out. Like, I mean, how would you do a yoga? How would you do asanas on a paddleboard? But I guess there's yoga for everybody. So whatever yoga you do out there. I also saw they do beer yoga, when they drink beer while they're doing yoga. So there's all kinds of stuff. I think that kind of defeats the purpose, but
Yeah.
If it brings you to enlightenment, why not? If it brings you to a enjoyable state. So whatever yoga you do out there, my friend, keep it going. Some yoga is better than no yoga, no matter what it's called.
For sure. Um, yeah, as far as the beer part, I kind of, I think I'm like approaching like a breakthrough on that because, I know I really have to stop. And like, I was drinking the other night and we got into an argument, and I think it would have been more calm if I wasn't drinking, because that kind of just exacerbates everything. And, it's a bad habit I've had, and it goes all the way back to childhood. So, but I think I'm about to, you know, break myself of that. So I'm happy about that. It's kind of like something clicked in my head. And David Wilcock was also talking about it, and, they call it spirits. And yeah, um, spirits, you're more susceptible to bad spirits, bad thoughts when you're in that condition, So, I mean, not that I go overboard or anything, but I just know it's not right. And just look at this, just to tell like little kids, like their consciousness, and the little argument happened, and the whole family was really there. But look what he wrote. He put this on the wall. I don't know if you can see it. But anyway, it says, no arguing, no stress to a girl like mom, a smile always, um, and just relax and sit and read quietly because he sees me just like, because that's how I that's how I pass the most of my time. You want to say hi? He's shy now, but the things that comes out of the mouths of kids, and what they see and how, what they think about it. It was very touching. I was telling him
Yeah.
about your rule. He calls them the rules. Yeah. So I have to follow those rules,
Well, those are good rules to live by. And yeah, you begin to see like children have like a pure soul, a pure heart. So they just speak from the heart. They don't have no real conditioning. And they sometimes say the most beautiful things like no arguing, just be happy,
Yeah.
have a smile on your face. Like, how can you go wrong with that? I try to remember that when I wake up. Like, wake up with a smile on your face. The sun's up. Life is great. Nature is great. There's so many beautiful things to focus or attach to something that brings you down. That really doesn't make no sense. There's so many beautiful things and there's so many miracles in this life. Why get attached to things that bring you down? Just do stuff that uplift you and make you happy. And when you really start to open your eyes, you really see how vivid and beautiful like free things are, like nature
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
just the sun is beautiful.
He wanted me to take care of Ace. He calls her Ace. That's his little toy, So don't know why he likes to play with dolls, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, well, I live in Thailand and they have what's called lady boys, so it's pretty prevalent here, like more than usual. So it took me a while to get adjusted to that. You walk in 7-Eleven and there's some dude dressed like a lady, like that would be 100 baht. You're like, what? So coming from Miami, Florida, that took a little adjustment, and they in Thailand they think it's beautiful, like so it's not my thing, but tomato, like So you
Well,
see that a lot.
my thing is, if like somebody is born and they're like, maybe they were, female in another life, and then they come into a male body,
Yeah.
and they're homosexual. That's fine, but like I don't want it to be because of what he's seeing, around, and like confusion and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I hope it's not just because, and I hope he just outgrows it and whatever. But we'll see. I will be tolerant, no matter what.
It looks like it's Shiva Angi. She says, "Good morning. Unable to join the stream due to the phone issue."
Okay. Yeah,
Next
we're
time.
Shiva Angry. We would love to have you on StreamYard, but if you're having some phone issues, you could just put your questions in the comments. We had a very beautiful Mahashivarachi celebration, and Shiva Angi sang so beautifully. So
Yeah.
that was very great. So anytime, you're always welcome with your beautiful voice. Namaste, Shiva Angi.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So if you have any questions, put them in the YouTube chat, or anybody on StreamYard can ask me directly.
Oh, she sent you some hearts.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for the hearts, Shiva Angi.
Yeah, just a few questions about the mala beads, and what's that process called when we're doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing it wrong, but when we're doing this, is there a name for that?
No, not really. It's kind of called like counting mala beads, and the process is more like to keep your count. So you focus more on the mantra you're saying, and the malas help you keep a count. So when you get to the guru bead, it's 108 malas. So it's basically and like I said before, this finger, they don't like to touch the mala bead. So when they count, you're pushing down with your thumb, and counting each raksha beads with each mantra. So like, all right, let me show you.
Oh yeah, and does it matter if it's left hand or right hand, or is it
They mostly do with the right hand, like I'm
okay.
doing now, and let me push it up. Like you kind of push it down with each finger, like so. Let's say Om Namah Shivaya, one mala. Om Namah Shivaya, two mala. So you're pushing it down. As you can see, like this is called the guru bead. So this is when you get to 108. So you kind of more focus on the mantra and just keep pushing it down. So you don't really have to focus on counting the mala beads, because you know what it is. So you're more laser focused on the mantra you're saying.
Yeah,
But
because I was
yeah,
using my left hand, and I didn't know, because I couldn't remember which one, but it seemed natural to me to do it in the left hand. I don't know, but I guess I'll switch to right and see how that feels. But
I mean, it's basically whatever works for you. Like
right.
if you feel most comfortable on the left hand, it's perfectly fine. I mean, I learned on the right hand, but I would. It's not that serious, you know. The more thing you should focus on is the mantra. Like my guru used to say, when we say mantra, it's like walking a tightrope up over the Himalayan mountains. We're laser focused on the mantra, but we're a little bit aware of the height walking the tightrope. So it's more focused on the mantra. So it doesn't really matter left or right to me. At our school, we're not like yogic Nazis, if you know what I'm saying. If it works for you on the left hand is perfectly fine. If it works on the right hand, it's perfectly fine. So all these kriyas are more to be practiced as like in a relaxed kind of comfort kind of still state. So if you're too worried about like the rules and the guidelines of any of these practices, you lose focus of what the real meaning of the kriyas are, which is basically trying to get you in a state of a meditative state of stillness and calmness. So it's perfectly fine, right or left, you know.
I was just wondering because like the male and female side, and I wondered if there was any significance to why it would be done left or right, and also about the number of the beads, like the significance of that.
Yeah, the significance of the beads. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's 108, and they always do 108. I mean, probably somebody like Shiva Angi could say from a more Indian Vedic perspective of why it's 108. Somebody actually posted one of the videos I posted a couple days ago was us doing Om Namah Shivaya 108 times, and somebody posted why it was 108, and I
Mm.
forgot exactly why he said it was 108, but there is some rhyme or reason about it. But in my case, I don't really, how can I say, get attached to why it is 108. I just like that it's 108, and it makes me feel good. So
Also, the crown chakra, like 1008 petals, isn't it? So,
yeah,
and
true.
I know eight
Yeah,
is associated with infinity because it's like a big circle that never ends,
right.
kind of. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. Yeah, so 108, 1008. So there's all this kind of symbolism in the numerology of this Vedic tradition.
Shiva says has 108 dance postures. It represents wholeness. Oh, Shiva has 108 dance postures. It represents wholeness. Interesting.
Yeah, and when Babaji's birthday or Shiva Rachi, we try to say 108 names of Babaji or Shiva, symbolizing respecting them, at giving them it as an offer, saying there are 108 names also. So there's all this kind of symbolism, and like Shiva Angi said, dancing Shiva has 108 different dancing positions when he does his cosmic dance around the universe. So
Great. Yeah, so I told you guys I was going to tell you a new breadcrumb that I got on my little trip, you know,
great.
because I speak with so many people, and sometimes I dig, I'm like, I'll just ask them some questions to see like where they are, and then I'll poke deeper. But in this case, I was not, but I've had every type of story of ghosts, of UFOs, of demons, that people have had encounters with. So anyway, we went on that trip, and we got taken there in a van, and the driver, he was hired. Um, so he happened to be like, more fluent kind of in English, and like we kind of started talking a little. I think he knew I was in the Navy and stuff, so I could kind of communicate with him better than with some of the other people. But anyhow, out of the blue, I wasn't even like probing him or anything. He asked me, did I ever see, or had I ever seen any mermaids or heard of it or whatever? And I was like, no, I've seen some like manatees. They kind of look like it. And then he went further, and he was talking about dwarves and fairies and stuff. So then he related to me a story that happened in his youth when near the naval base where I once pulled in at. It's a place called Alongapo. But he said him and some of his friends were on horseback riding by a riverbank when they did come across what they saw was a fairy. Just as you would imagine a fairy. I wished I had because later after after we were already done, I had like a lot more questions, but he's gone now. But I didn't really ask for like a good description, but he said they actually got a picture of it. But that was back before cameras, so it was probably like a film picture, and he didn't have it. But I found that to be very interesting. Like all these mythical things, like they're not really myth. You know what I mean? They're really here. And I've heard like fairies are like protectors of the forest, and it was like a heavily forested, beautiful area by a stream. So yeah.
Yeah, in the Himalayan mountains, there are a lot of fairies, which are hard for people to believe, but I've seen it with my own eyes. But that's another thing my guru would be like, "Did you see that?" He'd be like, "See what?" I was like, "Never mind," like I know I saw it, but it all like it all comes back to like yeah, there are a lot of unexplainable things out there, but we don't really get attached to it. We just kind of keep walking. That's always what he would tell me when I would see like a gori or a yogi who had some kind of CD power. He would be like, "Keep walking," He knew I saw it, and I was like, I had questions about it, but he wouldn't let me get attached to it. He's like, "Keep walking," or he'd be like, "What, what happened?" Like, yeah, I think I just saw a fairy, and he'd be like, "What fairy?" Like, it's like, what's that? Abbott on Costello. Who's on first? Who? What? So it kind of reminds me of that too. Like, yeah, there are a lot of things out there you can't really explain, especially in the Himalayan mountains. I saw all kind of weird lights and all kinds of different things, but at the end of the day, I just didn't really get attached to it. It was like, when in our class when we do practices, like I always say, like, if you see colors or you see shapes or you see different things, just focus on the practice. That's why like Tritak is really important, because no matter what's happening outside of that, you're just focusing on that one candle flame or whatever you put your bindu focus on, so you don't really kind of get distracted. But it's hard. There are all kinds of crazy things happening around you. So, but yeah, it's important just to keep focus on that. But yeah, I agree with you. There are a lot of unexplainable things happening out there in the world, and a lot of the experiences I had, I can't explain, or it's hard to put words to it even, like how would I even explain that? So so it's good stories around the campfire, but it's hard to explain.
So could you describe the fairy that you saw?
It was more further away because they don't really come up on you, so you could see it on detail. It's more like, I don't know, like you would see it in a Disney movie, kind of like a Tinkerbell, like some kind of glowing and some kind of butterfly kind of flying around, like uh, a sparkly divine kind of butterfly. Let's say it like that.
Could you like make out like a human form on it, or was it just you could just kind of see wings? Or
Not even kind of wings. It's kind of like like
Light
a
or
yeah, like a distant kind of light, like a glowing kind of butterfly. Let's say it like that,
yeah.
But
okay.
it wasn't like a butterfly. It was this kind of fluttering around. But it's not. It wouldn't come close enough to you for you to even make out any detail. It was kind of in the distance, like what's that? That looks kind of weird. What's that doing here? You know, like
Yeah.
you would see things like that. Like, I know that's not a butterfly because there are no butterflies in the Himalayan mountains, but it's kind of a little divine confirmation you see in the distance. Let's say it like that. But I couldn't see like any of these things. They kind of keep their distance from you. It's almost like I'm here, but I don't want to get too close. And or in in uh the Himalayan mountains or in the yogic tradition, they kind of have like a, let's say like a 20-foot rule. Like if you see something, you keep your distance and they keep their distance. They're aware of you, but they're aware of you and you're aware of them. So you kind of you know, like acknowledge them. Like in yoga, they say ahimsa, which means non-violence, right? So I don't mean you no harm, and you don't mean me no harm. I acknowledge you. I respect you. I namaskar. I bow to you, the God inside you, and you acknowledge the God inside of me. So we kind of keep our distance, you know.
Yeah.
So
When I was thinking
these
that you,
these kind of things keep their distance also. So it's hard to make out anything. You just kind of see some kind of glowing and some kind of wings, some kind of flying
Yeah.
around, and it's kind of like, well, that's interesting, but okay, you know, I don't know how that's going to help me in the present moment, but I thank you for that confirmation.
I want to add one point, especially in Himalayas, the yogis which are like an above from enlightened beings, they have become like a light particles, like they have become light
True.
beings. So they travel in a very high speeds, and many people have seen them moving, the light orb moving. And the sadhu says these are the yogis which have go beyond the enlightenment. So they are like in the light being state. So people have many people have seen those orbs, and it's not just an orb of some phenomena of the weather or some nature, but it's a very alive orb which can take
Mm.
any form, which can take any movement, any speed. So many people have seen those things in Himalayas.
Yeah, me also. One time we were sitting around the yagna, the campfire as you would call it, and I saw a bunch of lights. It was like flying around,
Mm.
like, and I was like, I told my guru, "What is that, Baba? What is that?" He's like, "The sitas are flying around tonight." You know, so like Shiva Angi said, these are enlightened beings who have reached such a high state that their body becomes
Yeah.
the light body, like a light
Yeah,
particles, and
light body.
they're just flying
Like the
around, you
movie
know.
Lucy, you remember the movie Lucy, how she became
Yeah,
at the end? Exactly like that. They can take
true.
any form, and the purest form is the light.
Yeah, and they're just flying around in the Himalayan mountains at night. So it's I could think of numerous times I've seen light flying around. It's just unexplainable. But I asked my guru, when you see these light beings flying around, they would say the sitas are flying around tonight. What do you do? He says it's a divine blessing. So anytime I would see it, I was always, send blessings to them because they have reached the highest state of a lightened being, and they're light flying around. So it's a good confirmation. If you really do your inner work, you could reach a higher yogic state like these yogis have, like Babaji or the Sitas, or there are many that they like to hang out in the Himalayan mountains. So there are many, numerous, lights flying around in the night sky of the Himalayan mountains.
Like maybe 5 months back, I have captured something from my iPhone, but I haven't shared it anywhere. I'll share that video with you guys in this Kriya Yoga school, and it's also a kind of orb whose movement was not like typical movement, and it was not an like satellite or star or any kind of drone, which is very evident, and it's just an
Yeah.
orb, and it was like above in the sky near my home, and I was capturing it, and I'll share that video in Kriya Yoga School, because I thought, shall I share this or not? What if like it's a kind of sign? But now I'm feeling like I should share that with you guys in the Kriya Yoga School.
Great. Looking
Yeah,
forward
we
to
would
it.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you guys can give your opinion. Like, I may be wrong, but you guys can say what you feel like. What is that? But it's a mysterious thing for sure.
And like
Is
when I saw these lights,
Veronica fine? I felt you are not. You're
Oh,
sick or something.
I had something cool to say, but I was just waiting for a moment to say something.
I
uh,
felt you're sick. Like you're not keeping well.
I have like a pain in my chest. I feel like something's stuck there. So I think you're sensing
Okay.
that.
Okay.
yeah, what you said about the orb, when I saw it, it was like light, like kind of dancing in the
Yeah.
sky, and it was unexplainable. Like it was too low to be like an airplane or a drone or
Exactly.
anything like that. And my guru would say the Sitas are flying around dancing tonight in the night sky. And I was like, oh, great, you know?
Mm.
So we looked at it as like a divine confirmation, like, oh, we have an audience of uh, uh, light Sitas flying around us. And there was one story I heard, like, I forget which book it was in, but they say these sitas like to fly around. So one yogi looked up in a tree and there was a sita sitting there, and he was like, "How you get there?" He's just flying by. Says just flying by. Don't mind me. Keep up the good work. You know, I think the guy was actually doing what's called yoga nidra, which is sleepless sleep state, and the Sita was observing his yoga nidra, and he enjoyed it. He was like, "Where did you learn this technique from yoga nidra?" And he said, "My guru taught it to me." And he was like, "Keep up the good work." Just flying by, and just flew away. So I guess maybe the sadhana we were doing, they approved, and they like to observe. We had an audience, you know. They were like, "You got a nice Yagda fire going there. Just flying by, checking it out. You know, looks good. Keep up the good work."
What were you going to say, Veronica? You said you have
Yeah, go
something
ahead,
cool
Veronica.
to say.
I'm like noticing like magical moments all the time. And I was thinking when Vedagurudev, when said that you saw that fairy, I was thinking maybe people only see that when their frequency is raised at a certain level. You can see that, but maybe people that are a lower frequency don't see these things, because fairies probably don't want everybody to see it. So maybe the people
Yeah.
they feel safe around can see those things. So, but I don't know. I'm just noticing like I see orbs too, but I notice like really magical things all the time. But I'm just like, oh, that's nice. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that's a confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Exactly.
you have a heightened awareness, you're more open to these things. And
Hmm.
my guru used to say most people are sleeping with their eyes open. So most
Hmm.
people are just attached to their daily life, and they're not, their awareness, their vibration is not high enough to even recognize or acknowledge these things. So once you do all these kriyas to raise your awareness or raise your vibration, you're more open to it. And yeah, you see these confirmations all the time, and you're able to enjoy it more than take it for granted like most people do. Like I just said, they're sleeping with their eyes open, so they're not
Yeah.
aware of these higher frequency things, or these you know, they're too conditioned by their conditioning throughout their whole life, like, you know, this can't be real. But when you have an open mind, you more enjoy it and you look forward to it. Like, oh, cool. The, tonight
Yeah.
the seed is flying through the air. Look at that,
Mm.
you know? Yeah.
I
Cool. I'm
think
open
Jesus
to it.
Jesus had some saying, "I see trees walking," and like that's
Mm,
like indicating like the sleeping people. They're just like trees.
Yeah.
true.
Even
He's
when I
not
was,
wrong.
yeah, even when I was recording that video, I was in the background, I was talking to myself and saying the same thing. You see, everybody is busy in their own work, nobody cares, and I'm recording something unusual in the sky. I was saying the exact thing what Gurudev was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. When you raise your awareness doing the doing your sadhana, you begin to come open to a bunch of things, and
Yeah.
nothing really surprises you anymore. Like I think Veronica or you, Paul, asked me like, what surprises you? I was like, nothing really anymore. I've seen it all, you know. I've seen too many unexplainable things, and I've visited too many unexplainable places where I'm open to it all. And it's not on the yogic path. I'm open to agoris have great power, and I enjoy their energy. Sadhus, swamis, lamas, all of the above. Buddhists, I like them all. You know, so like they all have great insights and great stories to tell. So when we were in the Himalayan mountains, we were almost like the Pied Piper. We would have a group of spiritual people that like to walk with us, and we didn't care what spiritual tradition they came from, long as they carry divine energy. They're our brothers. That's what my guru always would say. So Swami, Sadhu, yogis, lamas, Buddhists, Christians, we love them all of the above. And when you go to Lake Shrine in Pacific Palisades in California, Yogananda has statues representing all spiritual traditions. So we honor everybody's spiritual path, no matter what name they go by. So it's a big thing in Kriya Yoga that we recognize all spiritual traditions. And my gurus say there are many paths to get to the mountaintop, long as you get to the mountaintop. So it doesn't really matter which path you take, as long as you're doing the inner work and uplifting and helping people. In Kriya Yoga, Karma Yoga is a big thing. Selfless service, feed the poor, help the poor. Like if you look at my guru's Instagram, he's always feeding the poor, prasad, every day, and helping people, uplifting people. Like I was saying before, when I went to India, it was very hard to spend money, because when people recognize you're on the spiritual path, they want to give you food. They want you to come to their house for tea. Like when I would try to buy something, like let's say I would try to buy a Shiva Lingam, right? They wouldn't let me buy it. They would say, your money's no good over here. You're on the spiritual path. So they look for opportunities to help for people on the spiritual path, which I thought was a beautiful thing. So I find it very hard to spend my rupees in India, in the Himalayan mountains. I mean, obviously in the big city, Delhi, they're going to take your money for sure.
Scammers.
Yeah, there's some scammers out there.
Mm.
Yeah, so like as I was saying, like I have nothing but time here. Sometimes it's just kind of boring, but so I'm reading a lot. So I've picked up a new book. It's called The Genesis 6 Conspiracy. And this guy is some type of theologian. I don't know how to pronounce that word, studying religion and Christian. But so he went into like a lot of the different religious books, and it's basically about the giants, the Nephilim, and what they are, and if they're real or if they're myth, as we're led to believe that all these things like the Greek gods, they're all just like myths. But the Titans and like Hercules and stuff. So it's very interesting. He So he goes into various different, the Book of Enoch, all these different things, and he's like telling what happened. And like so far, I've just barely gotten a little into it, but there was fallen angels, and then they had sex with the daughters of men, and back to Adam and Eve, and then he had some progeny, Cain and Seth and Abel, and Cain killed Abel, so the Cain line was corrupted from the very start, and the Seth line was more pure. But supposedly some angel, and he also goes like, can angels even reproduce? Would they have that capability? And maybe some of these angels started looking at women and having lustful thoughts or whatever, and that was prohibited by God, but anyhow they went and did it. So those were the fallen angels, and then when they did that, the Nephilim were produced, which they were like giants, and they were basically evil. They were so powerful, like that power corrupted them. They're big, powerful, and they say the ultimate power corrupts ultimately. And so then what happened? The flood came. God trying to get rid of this bad stuff. And Noah actually was the last pure one, because even the Seth line eventually became corrupted, and Noah was the last one. But um, so as far as the Nephilim, what he says is, yeah, they became these giants, but then God intervened, and when they finally did die, they became the demons. And they are bound to the earth, and those are the remains of the Nephilim. They're demons now. So it sounds pretty legit to me, and it's just like I've always just wanted to know what's going on. I like to understand, and it's just all these like little things about fairies are like slapping me out of my sleep. It's waking me up. It's like, yes, this happened. It's like hard for me to like accept this concept. Like I didn't even like really believe in God. I didn't know what to believe. I had no one to guide me. I just read and try to figure it out on my own. So I think I've got it pretty much figured out. And I'm still, the David Wilcock thing. He also did channel Archangel Michael, and Michael gave him all these prophecies of what's happening. And like, I know it seems so mundane, everybody's just asleep and they don't believe anything basically. And but I think these are like biblical times, and something is about to happen. I don't know what that might be. Like, will the gods return to earth, or will like some kind of solar flash like send like an awakening to those who are able to handle that energy? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just doing my work. And but I do like to think about it. I can't curb my curiosity, in other words. But and sometimes it does bother me. Like I got kind of depressed the other day, going into that the pale horse thing, because it's pretty disturbing actually, to know, like, and when the truth comes out, a lot of people are not going to be able to handle it. I expect there would be a lot of suicides, and a lot of they won't even believe it, even if it's like told by the president or whatever. But anyhow, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I feel that even God wants to hide such things because people, there are so many evil around us as humans, which will not think good of such beings and all, right? So I think, as Gurudev say, I totally agree. And even Veronica said, people with higher consciousness can they still perceive them. Like it's not
Mm.
just about the giants and all, but there are so many things, but which we can perceive. Like, and even if you're, if you even if you're reading and believing it, then you are on the right path, which I believe, because some things are not shared by, like if you see the tradition of Hinduism, all the siddhis and everything is not shared, it's being passed one to one, because the knowledge
Right.
is so precious that it can be misused by so many people around, right? Am I correct, Gurudev?
Yeah, yes, you are correct. In Kriya Yoga, it's a oral tradition. They give in person. That's why they don't want it to be misused
Yeah,
for some monetary use. So that's why they emphasize like the parampara and the oral tradition, in person tradition. Like we don't want you to misuse these CDs or these Kriyas. And, I always, my guru asked me one time, he was like, do you want CDs? I was like, Baba, what would I do with a CD? He was like, exactly. He was like, who wants CDs? The short answer, the ego. The long answer, nobody. So like, we we we're we're not doing this Kriya yoga practice to levitate or bilocate or read people's minds or get the lottery number. We're doing this to upload our uplift ourselves collectively. You know what I'm saying? So these are just like signposts or breadcrumbs or confirmations on the path. But we don't. Even though we're aware of these CD powers, we don't try to attach to it. Like I said, when I would see, let's say I would see somebody levitate in the Himalayan mountains, I would feel his arm tapping me. Keep walking, like don't get attached to that. Baba, he's
yeah,
levitating. Let me take a picture. No, 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 no. Come on, keep walking, keep
yeah,
walking. Nothing happened here. There's nothing to see over here. That's what he would always say. Like, and like even though these things are happening around you and you're aware of them, it's more important for you to do the inner work. These are little breadcrumbs or confirmations that happen, but don't get attached to it. It's just it's more important that you do your inner work and your sadhana on the path. But they're good stories around the campfire. I always like when my guru said, "We don't talk about Kriya Yoga, we do Kriya Yoga." So when it's Yagna time, and you tell stories around the Yagyar or the Hama or the Havan, you tell these stories like, yeah, last night I saw a Sita flying around in his light body around the Himalayan mountains. Oh, that's good. I saw it too. But these are good end of the night campfire stories, but they don't really serve you in the present moment. I mean, it's good for them, but it it's better for you to do your inner work and do as much as you can, because there's so
yeah,
many distractions out here in the Maya delusional world that try to get you off the path. It's 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 hard to stay focused. So my guru was right when he was like, just keep walking,
yeah. Like, in India, many people are aware that these things are there, but since
Mm,
they don't advertise such things, we want
yeah,
to keep this knowledge to ourselves, because it's, we in India we can always do and say that, see, these things exist, we can show it on TV and make in and feel that, I mean, show people that India is such a great country, we have so many things, but they chose not to show it because of the misuse of it, that
right.
is the that is a very, I think, a very high path, because once you have this powers and everything, you are beyond ego, and you are beyond everything, and you are like, keep, I need not to show this to people, right? I just want to connect with God, and that's it. His
Mm.
purpose is way higher than publicizing themselves.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. There's one story in the autobiography of a yogi where he's the levitating saint, where he levitates and he shows Yogananda. He's like, I'll only show you because you're you're on a spiritual path. You're aware of this, but this isn't for normal people's eyes, you know? And it's more of a how can I say, a connection to God that you cultivate and you enhance, and you don't want that connection to God to go away because you showed it to other people. You know, there's another story where a guy met Babaji, and Babaji told him, if you need me, I'll be there. Call me. So he went back and he told all his friends. He was like, I saw Babaji. I'm gonna call Babaji. And he called Babaji, and Babaji is like, this isn't for show, or this isn't made for TV. This is a divine connection that you should cultivate and enhance, or you should keep it sacred to yourself. This isn't showtime, you know, for your friends.
Yeah.
Look, I met Babaji, you know, like, you know, that's more of an ego play, that you know, I'm better than you. I have a connection to Babaji, you know. So we don't want, we don't do that. Like I said, it's not meant for other people. Like I said before, even if I levitated, I wouldn't tell nobody. It's just a secret between me and Babaji or God, you know? Like, oh, that was cool, but I'm gonna focus on my sadhana. I'm not gonna go on a TV show and say, "Look at me, I'm a supreme enlightened being. I will now levitate." So it's not meant for people who are attached to the Maya delusional world
Yeah.
to see, you know?
Even when I was recording those, or I have this very strong sense of not sharing it with people or putting it on internet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have 3 videos, and like I showed it to my brother, and he said he was a little skeptic, and he said, okay, uh, there are a couple of things happening around this part of India. He said, and I, like, many times I thought, should I put it on internet, but I don't know, something felt, no, you should not, you should not, you should not. So that is why I thought I'll put it in Kriya Yoga School, and maybe after some time I'll remove it or something. But I don't want, I have this very strong feeling not to share it with people. Yeah.
Yeah. Even me, like the stories I have, I'm kind of
Yeah.
careful sharing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's more better in our Kriya Yoga school because we're like family, but like on YouTube or whatever, you don't know who's listening out there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to drag that story of Shambhala out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another story. That was before the YouTube
Yeah.
time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did kind of drag it out of me. I
Yeah,
was
you
kind
dug.
of, I don't know. Well, you know, it's his family here, so I guess I'll tell that story, you know?
It was a great and inspiring story. And I really was. I just asked you, did you ever heard about Shambhala? You know, I didn't really ask you, had you been there or anything like that. But, you know, I had heard of Shambhala and I was just curious about it. I've heard of a lot of underground, different ones. I can't remember all the names, but there's various different. Some of them might be in another dimension. Some of them might be in this
Yeah,
dimension, you know. But there's many
exactly.
cavities under the earth, and I do believe there's various entities living in there. Some of them are said to be the people that survived Atlantis, and they went underground to survive it, and they,
Yeah.
so. And then the
Uh,
ant people.
they yeah, there is a I'm not sure, I should not say the word conspiracy theory, but people say that there is a civilization inside Earth, and there are so many things which are coming out of the North Pole. There is a way to go there, and I think one of the pilot went there. He witnessed everything, and he wrote a book about it. I'm not sure about the book name. And even in our culture, we have this lokas are the realm. So patal lok is the lowest realm. Nag lok is where the serpent, like the like Western people call this reptilian lives. Reptilian people are there, so you can always read about those lokas. There are so many lokas, and these are all the realms with people with different like beings with different frequency. They live there. And about the Shambhala, I think the Yogananda and everyone, even Jesus, everyone is in Shambhala only, I guess.
Mm,
And even in the Himalayas, when the orbs are being seen, and when they witness the Siddhas moving, they said they are from Shambhala. Like
mm.
they are traveling to Earth for some reason, but they live in Shambhala as light being.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I'll say Shambhala, in my experience, is on a different frequency. It's not a place you could reach uh, if you
Yeah.
have lower frequency. It's
Yeah, it's
not
not a
somewhere you,
physical
right.
place, right? Yeah.
It's not a physical place that you could reach. And it's not a place that you could reach unless you've done years of inner work, let's say it like that. You have to be on a certain frequency or a wavelength, or you can't attune yourself to reach that place. And you kind of need a guide who needs to show you the way, which my guru knew the way. So, but could I go back there? I don't think I'd be able to find. Or if I wanted to go back, would it be necessary to go back? I don't think it's necessary. I've seen enough. But I can confirm what Shiva Angi says. There are many enlightened beings there, let's say, and it's a blissful utopia, a happy place. So I wasn't able to I was able to see from a distance, but not to interact. Let's say it like that. But yeah, it's a great place, and I hope to ascend to Shambhala one day. That would be a beautiful thing, and join Babaji and Mataji and all the ascended masters around the campfire.
Also, that cave, it might also have to do like that cave might facilitate do the energies there, it might help, of course you'd still have to have done the work, but being in that cave, that might be a specific location that like kind of is kind of like a portal, to where it would facilitate your going there. Like if you tried to go there like from where you're at right now, even if your guru was there, maybe it wouldn't be possible without like being like right there in that highly charged spiritual area. I don't know.
I would say it was a doorway for sure. Like, but the, you need the heightened awareness and the higher consciousness. Even if you went to that doorway, you couldn't reach. You would have to have done the inner work to reach that point. And
Mhm.
even with the inner work, it's not like you could just watch it like a movie from a distance. Like you're in a movie theater watching it from a distance. You can't interact. Maybe they know you're there, maybe they don't. I don't really know, but it it's only available for people who have done the inner work, let's say like that. So you need the doorway and you need the inner work, and they all kind of work together. And if you're lucky, you will reach that state, but it's not a physical state out there, definitely. So if you're wandering the Himalayan mountains looking for a Shambhala, you're wasting your time. You're just freezing your ass off for no reason. And me, I doubt I could even find that place if I tried, or really what I want to. I don't know. I've seen enough, and I kind of look at that like a treasure, like that I keep with me. Of It's a confirmation if you do the inner work and you do your sadhana as much as you can, that there are heightened levels that you could reach, let's say. And Yogananda talks about this, that his guru reached this astral plane state, this blissful Shambhala type of place, So if you do the inner work, maybe you could reach this state.
There is a guru in India called Sri M.
Yeah, I know
And
him.
yeah, he is also like the disciple of Mahavatar Babaji. And he
Yeah,
shared a very
absolutely.
beautiful story where he was with his guru in one of the deepest cave in Himalayas, and suddenly he saw some like a moon structure, like a bright light
Hmm.
coming down. And then there was a sound of a machine, and he got scared because there was not a single drop of light in those regions, and it was not moon. And suddenly he saw two serpents, which we call
Mm-hmm.
nagas, right? they
Right.
they came down of their ship, what you call, spaceship. And they came, and they were sitting, and he got very scared. He started shivering and all, because he was not able to perceive another being from another planet. And then
Mm.
they started talking to his guru in the, like, in hissing language, like how snake talks. And they were like big snake, and they were like all dressed up. And he first he thought he's dreaming or something. And then his guru said to him, no, everything is fine, don't get scared. And they had this conversation, they introduced themselves. And then when they left, then the guru said to him that these are the beings from Naglok, which we call, Nag means snakes, and Lok means realm. So they are from another planet, and they came to him for discussing a issue from their planet. So so the guru who is like, n- no, most is not popular in India, like nobody knows about him. He's living in a deepest cave in Himalayas, is discussing issue with aliens about their planet. So they just came on earth, and they were discussing some issues, ki this is what, some political issues in their planet. So this is the beauty, right? If people are so enlightened, they are beyond enlightenment, they don't care to show and all, right? So this is a very beautiful story shared by Shri M.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, even I got this goosebumps when I heard about these stories of Shri M. And he also
Yeah.
said that, like, Area 51, like it is said that in Area 51, America has couple of aliens where reverse engineering their technology. So there were a couple of ships, a spaceship which crashed in Roswell area, I think, in America. They are reverse engineering because their technology is beyond human. They are using some gravitational field to move from one planet to another. So they are manipulating the gravitational wave to move. It's like in Earth we don't have that technology. They are reverse. But in Himalayas we have couple of bodies of aliens, and they are like, and they don't like, who are taking, I think the gurus and the sadhus are only taking care of it. And it's like they they're not showing it off, they're keeping it very secret, and they are like very pious towards it. They are not misusing or try to find what is happening and what is inside their body. Like they don't care. They just thought two people from another planet crashed here and we need to save their body. Like that, their motive is so divine. So we have couple of bodies kept in some deepest cave of Himalayas, and one, two or three aliens. They said that they come and they just see if everything is fine or not. And Shriyam has said this story that when they come, they don't eat anything in on earth. So they have like a very food. Their food is like a soap structure thing, and if they eat it, they need not to eat food for like 1 year in on earth. So that is the fuel they are consuming when they come on earth. And so the Shriyam has shared a very beautiful stories of here Himalayas. I think Mahavtar Babaji has given him permission to share. That is why he's sharing, because you, whenever you see such thing, you will always have this feeling not to share if your purpose is good, if your purpose is not to misuse it.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and I do believe our governments have reverse engineered the spacecraft. There's a secret
Yeah.
space program, and I've heard of that type of food also, like something like manna or something. Um, that's very powerful. What else? Losing my train of thought, but yeah, I wanted to also say I'm glad Chad's back. Chad has reappeared in digital form.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw
I
Return of
like,
the Prodigal Son, right?
yeah, I liked the video too. It was pretty kind of inspiring.
Yeah, I guess he's coming back in the faceless form now.
But I think all these like movies and things they're showing us, they're like, because when we first, like when our military came into contact with these ships, of course, being in the military, they're scared out of their minds because they have no control. They're like, oh, what do we do? And they had a big think tank, the Brookings Institute, and they said, no, the human population, if we tell them about this, it's going to cause chaos and anarchy. So that's why they put this veil of secrecy on it. But that might not have been the right thing to do. But I think we're slowly being prepared by all these movies so that, like, when when they return and show themselves to the general population, that we won't like totally freak out. We're like, well, oh yeah, I saw that in a movie. So the reality of it slowly is like creeping into their brains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. What Shiva Angi said is true. Like my guru, when we're in the tent in the Himalayan mountains, and it's super windy. It's the Himalayan mountains, like Mount Everest, so it's super windy. We're in a thin tent, and I said, "What happens if a yeti attacks us?" Which was like the abominable snowman, right? He said, he looked at me. He said, "Vedagurudev, what kind of silly question is this? If a yeti comes and he is carrying divine power, he is our brother. He can sit down and have tea with us." I was like, "But Baba, he's big and hairy and he's a giant." He said, "Doesn't matter. His form doesn't matter. It only matters the divine energy he carries." And he would say, "If God comes, don't leave God outside your house in the cold and rain. Bring God inside for tea. If your ego comes, leave it outside in the cold and rain." So if you're carrying divine energy, no matter what form you have, you're a space serpent or you're a Himalayan yeti, we welcome you as our brother. And yeah, my guru also asked me about this story. He said, "You read Sri M's book, Apprentice to a Himalayan Master?" And I was like, "Yeah, I read it." He goes, "What did you think of the space serpent?" I said, "I like it. It's good." He goes, "That doesn't scare you?" He said, no. There are many things I've seen on the path of Kriya Yoga. I welcome it all. So if a space serpent flies to my house and wants to communicate with me telepathically, I welcome it. You know, I am open to it. I treat space serpent with respect the same way I treat my family with respect. You know, they are family. Just because they come from another planet or another dimension, I welcome it. And it reminds me of my monkey story. One day I walked outside my house and there was a monkey sitting on my Shiva statue, and he just pointed to the sky, and telepathically he said to me, "Let go and let God," and he left. So uh, I take inspiration from a monkey, a space serpent, fairies, floating orbs. I like them all. You know, they all. I see the beauty in all of them, and they all uplift me. So I'm not scared about it, and that's why these yogis in yoga they say stay fearless always. So that they have a mindset of like, even if it's the end of the world, let nothing shake your samadhi. So they're not surprised by anything. If you've been in the Himalayan mountains for any amount of time, you've seen all kinds of magical stuff, and you don't get attached to it. You just keep doing your inner work. But yeah, if a space serpent showed up in my tent at the Himalayan mountains, come on and take a rest. You know, you want some tea? Do you like chai, space serpent? Oh, do you have a bar of soap that you like to eat that sustains you? All good. We appreciate it all. You know, do you like you like roti, you like lentils, you like dal? Here, take mine, you know? That's why like it's almost like a prasad is like that. Giving to others before you give to yourself, you know? Giving to deities before you give to yourself, you know, as a sign of respect, a sign of offering. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Like you you need to get out out the cold and the wind of the Himalayan mountains. Here, take my tent. I'll sleep outside. You know, I welcome you with your divine energy, space serpent. I don't care what form you have. You look like a snake. You look like a naga. You look like a yeti. I love all of you, you know? Long as you carry
Yeah.
divine energy, you're welcome in my house, you know?
Yeah. Love is the only language of universe.
True.
I've
And
always thought like I'd like to have like an experience with, extraterrestrials, but as above, so below. I believe in that, so I
mm,
do know that there are also, you know, what you would call evil ones, or service to self type ones, and like my fear would be like I would not know, like those seeds of doubt have been put in my mind by everything I've seen, because the government kind of wants us to believe that the extraterrestrials are going to be evil and they want to conquer the earth. So like if a spaceship landed and they came out, I don't know if I would be able to discern if they're good or evil. They might like try to trick me into thinking they're good when in fact they're evil. So that's my kind of dilemma with those types of beings.
yeah, but I wouldn't overthink it. I would just lead with love, right? If you lead with love, you can never go wrong, right? So if they're trying to trick you, that's their problem, not your problem. Long as you lead with love, and like what Shiva Angi said, the universal language is love, right? And you can never go wrong with love. I always love when my guru said, he goes, love is not like five beans in your hand. Love is unlimited. So you should give love to as many people as you can wholeheartedly without even thinking. So if an alien ship landed, just give them as much love as possible. It's unlimited. Hello, brothers. How you doing today? I love you. Give me a hug. You want some tea? What do you need? Sleep in my bed, you know? I love you wholeheartedly. If you lead with love, you can never really go wrong. If they want to trick you, that's their problem. But if you come from a place of love, then you can never go wrong. No matter what form any being comes in. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how these yogis kind of live their life in a fearless kind of non-violence ahimsa, just projecting love and peace and harmony and enlightenment to all people. So in my opinion, if an alien came, I would just give them unlimited love. And if they did have bad intentions, maybe they turn around and leave. Like, we went to the wrong guy. This guy is only radiating love. We can't do anything to this guy because he's coming from a place of non-violence and love and peace and harmony. So it, we were going to try to do something to him, but we changed our mind. He uplifted us so much with his radiating love that we got to go somewhere else. So yeah, just lead with love. No matter, you can never go wrong. That's why I think in Kriya yoga, one of the most beautiful things is called karma yoga, where they just do selfless service and they just give wholeheartedly without any expectation. So I don't see how you could ever go wrong if you're coming from a place from love. So if anybody was trying to trick you or hurt you, you could overcome that by just giving unlimited love.
So basically, if I'm just like a loving being, like my frequency would basically repel them, kind of. Do you think?
I mean, don't quote me on this, but in my perception, well, I would say beings that have bad intentions wouldn't come to you if you're radiating love. So you wouldn't even have that. I've never had the opportunity to try this technique out because they don't come to me, right? They're like, not this guy. Let's go next door, or something like that. We need we need a lower frequency being to
Yeah. Exactly.
influence them easily, right? So
Yeah.
I don't never have these opportunities because I try to radiate as much love as possible. So I didn't really feel in danger in the Himalayan mountains and the elements, the animals, whatever, because I was radiating love, and it kind of all worked out that way, right? So
Okay. I've got a question because you had an incident when you had that DJ thing and those guys like came after you. So apparently they still wanted to bother you even though you're like a loving being. So it didn't seem to have helped in some sense.
well, it did help because nothing happened. So
Okay.
they wanted to harm me, but they couldn't harm me because I was radiating at a place of love. So I I got out of that situation, let's just say. My intuition said, keep walking, And it was basically like Babaji was like, I got it from here. So I just kept walking and they got tired of chasing me and they turned around and left. So even in a situation that looks dire, if you have the right mindset, I would suggest not to explain the situation to anybody. I would just leave. And that's what I did. So this is not a situation I want to be in right now. And if I try to explain myself in this situation, it might not work out for the best. So I just left. And so even in that situation, uh people who try to harm you can't figure out why they can't harm you, right? And your intuition, or let's say your spirit guides or your ascended masters, are like, don't worry, just listen. I got it from here. And that's basically what happened. So it worked out for the best.
Great.
I didn't reach the hospital that night or any night. So my sadhana, my Kriya yoga practice, it helped guide me through there, and it kind of kicked in.
Mm.
And the message was keep walking, don't stop. And that's exactly what I did. And they got tired of chasing me, and it worked out for the best.
Talk about like the power of thoughts because I'm acting as if others can read my mind, so it's helping me monitor my thoughts. But I don't know, like I'll notice like a negative thought on, so I'm like witnessing my negative thoughts, but like I'm able to shut it down. But I imagine what kind of world it would be if we could read each other's thoughts. We probably wouldn't have these negative thoughts because, like, oh, they can read my mind. I think it would be a totally different world. I don't know. And I feel like, I don't know, just doing that, like I can pick up on other people's thoughts. Like today, I just got this feeling like, oh, she's out of corn tortillas. And I checked and she was out. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Like, well, you're busy. I didn't want to bother you. So it's like I can like almost I can sense other people's thoughts, but I think it's a good technique to be like constantly monitoring your thoughts. And I don't know, and I maybe like we're becoming telepathic, but I think it would be so much better to communicate if we could communicate with feelings and visuals and not use words. So I don't know. I know I went on a tangent, but I don't know. I feel like thoughts, we have to really be aware of where our thoughts are. So
Mm.
yeah, I think we would be a lot loving, more kind if we were like aware, we could like hear each other's thoughts. Or I know I want to turn them off too because there are a lot of negative thoughts. But I don't know. That was just a thought I had. So
I think that's true, and like I've heard that a lot of the extraterrestrials do communicate telepathically. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Mhm.
that makes sense to me.
In yoga,
yeah,
they say silence is the best teacher. So a lot of these yogis, they stay in what's called mona. They just
mm,
stay
no
in
thoughts.
silence. So, and that way they enhance and they cultivate their inner telepathy, their inner intuition, their inner kind of bhava, their feeling, right? So they kind of uplift themselves, right? So they're more attuned to the radio station signal when they're in silence because they don't have the external Maya kind of delusional noise outside because they're inside themselves, attuning themselves telepathically to a heightened sense of awareness.
Yeah. When your consciousness increase, when you are pure consciousness, and we know that everything is connected, so we can always tap any part of
Mm,
the world, right? Any part of the earth, any part of human. When you are pure conscious, you don't have when you are above like all the bad things and you are just pure consciousness, you are not limiting yourself with moha and maya, then you can always tap another's people energy, and thoughts,
mm,
feelings are energy. So as Veronica said, she could sense her energy, even she was not speaking it through words, but she could sense some energy, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I knew she wanted to tell me something, but she wouldn't tell me. So then I just went over. I'm like, oh, she's out of tortillas. But like, I don't know. She was too scared to tell me, but I already knew. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So
And also I wanted to add one point, when like if you want to connect with those beings, so depending on our frequency, the people, if you want to connect people with other realm, be it alien or whatever the name you want to call them, but what is our frequency and our vibration will be attracting such beings. So right now if you are
Mm,
drunk, or you are high on drugs, or you have this fight and then you want to connect, then the chances are more that you will get connected with the people of lower beings,
yeah,
which can
true.
harm you. And if you have a very high frequency, positive frequency, then chances are you will be getting connected with beings which are will be good to you, or which will be helping you.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you're vibrating on a higher frequency, they say it's a lot easier to you to connect to ascended masters or deities. So all these Kriya yoga practices are kind of clearing out and like purifying yourself. So as my guru would say, you're keeping your inner temple clean so God can come visit you. So like you're always trying to make this connection, like you're even pranayama, breathing from the root to the crown. You're always trying to bring your energy up to your crown chakra or your eyebrow chakra, your agna. So like these how would my guru say, like we always bring our energy up to the crown because Babaji's feet uh, rest on the crown of your head. So they would always say, like, the divine gateway, you're always trying to open your crown to higher realms if you want, or for Babaji to come have tea with you, let's say, you know? So I agree with what Shiva Angi says. Like the more you do the inner work, the more attuned you come to these higher frequencies, and your house is more clean for these higher frequency beings to reach you. Let's say it like that. And you attract them more because your temple is clean, your ashram is clean, right? And they like to come to a clean ashram, as my guru would say. If you like rolling in the mud in the pit with the pigs, you'll attract pigs. You know, if you like vibrating on a higher frequency, you'll attract higher frequency beings. Let's say it like that.
Speaking of, the purity and cleanliness of the body, I'd like to ask Shiva Angi, like, what her dietary practices are. Are you a vegetarian or what?
We had this discussion, like I want to be vegetarian, but sometimes I have chicken, like not every day, because in India, like maybe twice a week we can we eat non-veg. So like most of the time our food is completely veg. Like maybe sometime in a month I can eat twice or thrice chicken, because I had the habit, like my mom gave me chicken like when I was young, so I had this taste developed. So sometimes I feel I'm low on protein or something, then I crave for chicken. Or sometimes I feel like my mood is low and some food can make it like good, then I go for chicken. But my aim is to completely be vegetarian, like completely vegetarian, because it is said that when you slaughter an animal, it's in great pain, great suffering, and when you eat it, we eat that, and those energy you will cultivate on yourself. So when I started seeing myself, whenever I had chicken or any kind of meat, after that my vibration, I could feel it has become lower, because the animal has been killed. He was in suffering. His all the cells were suffering, and I'm eating those things, right? So I have, like, earlier I couldn't recognize those low vibrations, but like from past 2 months I could sense it whenever I'm having non-veg. uh, Maybe being impulsive, I don't have control sometime, but I could sense it, my vibrations become low. My I become short tempered, or something wrong happens. So I'm on a path of like completely quitting non-veg.
Hmm. And I was telling Veronica before, when I was in the Himalayan mountains, even if I wanted to eat meat, there was no meat available. They're all veg. So uh, if, if I tried to eat some chicken, there wouldn't be no chicken. So I indirectly became veg, you know. So, uh, but I'm not against it. You know, I'm not like a food Nazi like some of these yogis. They're really strict, you know, their Ayurveda diet and everything. But you have some chicken once in a while, why not? Or
Um,
just eat what uplifts you or makes you feel good, you know?
so yeah, I've got a few things to say. Like, all right, once when I was a child, I was maybe like 5 years old, and I asked my mom where that where what is this? Where did this come from? And then she told me it was like from an animal or whatever. And I wanted to become a vegetarian. I was so young, but somehow that was ingrained in me. I was like, I don't want to eat that, you know. And I don't think humans were designed to eat meat, you know. I think
Yeah.
that's like from some type of lower thing. And then also one time I was having a video chat with my wife here, and they were having some celebration, and they eat, you know, they like to have a big pig, you know, and it was a live pig, and like I could hear the dang thing screaming. I don't know what they were
Yeah,
doing to it, but it was
exactly.
screaming, and like I could
Uh,
not handle that. I was like, put it out of
yeah,
its misery at least, you know, like why are you keeping it like alive screaming? And it was horrible. And
yeah.
so yeah, the other yogi, when I first got onto the yogic path, I was watching these Russian yogis that wear the orange suit, something Ananda. I can't remember the foundation, but and you know they definitely preach that, and they also say don't eat garlic, don't eat
Mm,
mushrooms. There's certain things that they say are, you know, rajastic or whatever, that
Yeah,
will
yeah.
excite you. So yeah, that's
mm.
why I'm bringing this stuff up.
Yeah, so when we have certain festival, we don't eat garlic, ginger, anything which comes from the root part of the plant, because it's very the what you said is completely right. It has a very hot tendency in the body, and the Jain even say that when we try to take out the root of the plant to eat, there is a lot of ecosystem of the organism which we are disturbing. So this is also a kind of ahimsa, this is also kind of violence which we are doing. So there are many traditions, but like if you see, then 60% of Indians or maybe 50% are purely vegetarian. They don't prefer eating meat, and the protein source are especially lentils or soya beans. These are the protein source, which is a good protein
Mm.
source. But the story which you told about the pig, the same thing happened to me. I was in Hyderabad, which is a Muslim dominated place in India, and there are a lot of slaughterhouse of chickens, goat, lamb, and I think cows also. So my father said, ki, okay, today we'll have party, we'll have chicken. And I said, ki, I'll not go and buy. So my father said, okay, you stay in the car, I'll bring. And heard that chicken screaming, and I couldn't eat that day. And this thought always came in my mind, ki, oh my God, I could hear her suffering, She was, because the Muslim people, they don't kill it on one go. They just they do halal. They cut one part of the neck, and then they try to drain the blood. And so the suffering is immense for that animal. So that was the day I thought, I'll it may take some time to quit, but I'll for sure be vegetarian for the rest of my life. I'm on that part of quitting, actually.
I agree.
I don't know, a long time ago, I was a vegetarian for 2 years, but I remember like going to the meat department, like seeing the packaged meat. It just disgusted me. But I don't know, it's hard to be a vegetarian if you're with somebody who isn't. So
Yeah.
I think if I wasn't married, I probably would, because I was getting really good at it. But I don't know, I had to like plan meals that had protein in it. But I don't know, I don't know, you just have to know what your body needs. But I don't have anything against anybody that eats meat, but I don't
Yeah.
know, I just I felt a difference when I was vegetarian. And
Yeah.
I was a lot thinner. I had a lot more energy. So
Yeah.
I had, I had a thought like, you see, Shiva, he has the animal skin cloth, and Babaji's on his animal rug. I wonder if they were meat eaters, because it seems like the visuals that they use the animals for resources. So I don't know. I think they ate meat, but that's just my intuition.
Like in we have like two parts. Aghora even eat the dead meat
Oh
of
yeah.
humans, because they just want to say ki everything is pious, there is nothing wrong and nothing right. So there are always two ways in Hinduism. Like you have so many paths you can take,
Yeah.
whatever you feel like. So our God, nobody eat meats. Shiva used to live in Himalayas. He might be using dead animal skin to wear the clothes, because
Oh, okay.
the representation is like he's a ghori. He lives in Himalayas. He doesn't have anything. So if we make him wear something else, he will like, how does he have a cloth? So it's like he maybe a dead animal skin he's wearing, because he's renowned everything from the world. And I don't
Okay.
think the Maftar Babaji and all, I don't think they would be eating meat for sure.
Okay. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. My guru would say like Babaji or Shiva doesn't need to eat because they're enlightened beings.
Oh,
They're
okay.
sustained off of Shakti and Prana, you know.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if you gave Babaji some food besides meat, he would eat it as just a sign of respect. He doesn't need it to live. It's just a sign of like prasad, you know, like okay, you gave me this offering. I'll show you. I'll eat it. It reminds me of like when we would go to different people's house with my guru, they would give us food, and it was almost like we had to eat the food even though we didn't want the food, because it was disrespectful not to eat the food. You couldn't go to somebody's house and not eat their food because they would think their food is bad, and it would make them feel bad. So even though you didn't want the food, you ate it anyway. I mean, it was all veg anyway, but like so like Babaji and like Shiva, these are such high level enlightened beings that they have overcome food a long time ago. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they food resonates with them. They're sustained off the cosmic energy and the Shakti and the prana and all this from all around, so they don't need anything. And a lot of these yogis too, they don't eat too much. Even when I was in the Himalayan mountains, they were like, we only eat what we can hold in our hand. So this would be what I would eat every day, what's in my hand, you know. So a lot of yogis, they are using their pranayama techniques to sustain them. So they could stay in the cave long periods of time because they cultivate this pranayama techniques to to nourish them off the prana in the atmosphere and in the nature. Let's say it like that.
I've got a funny story, about kind of what you related to, because when we had to drive for many hours to get to the beach area, and then when we got there, they were kind of eating some stuff, and then um, they offered it to me, and like I can't see very good because I've got this eye condition. I'm like, what is that, And so they offered me chicken feet, and I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
might have made a face or something, because like I don't like to eat anything with a bone in it anyway, because that just reminds me of what it is. So I like, if I eat chicken, I like just boneless breast, and just for the fish, just the fillet. I don't want any bones. And so I kind of made a real bolted face, and I rejected the food. I wouldn't eat it. I mean, because like the feet, it's one of the grossest things to
Yeah,
me, because it's got
exactly.
the toenails, and it walks on its own poop, and it's just like, mm. And there's like barely any meat there. It's just like all skin. I'm like, what's on the feet that I can really eat? So I kind of insulted them a little bit, and my wife kind of later told me about that, but they understood because she explained, about my habits and everything. So it wasn't really a big deal, but yeah, it was kind of funny.
Yeah, in the Philippines, they eat some weird stuff. I forget, they eat this unborn chicken and an egg. I forget what they call it. That
Balut.
they Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When I went there, I was like, I mean, this was before I was on the Kriya yogic path. I was like, what? Oh, were you crazy?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, you know,
I
like,
got offered that too, and I did reject it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, I was like, oh man, like, yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, and I noticed in the Philippines they like to chew the fat of the meat like gum, and I was like, why would you like the fat when there's the meat part? You know, but
Right.
anyway, you know, I mean, this was before I was on the Kriya yogic path. Like now, I'm like, I don't get it at all. But
So I've got a question. Like, do you think that we have free will?
I mean, this is a deep question, and it's kind of hard to answer. But I'll try my best. I think we have, like, in my intuition, I would say we have half free will and half it's predetermined. Like, you know, it's like wrestling. Like the script is already laid. So in my perception, I would say I have choices I can make that affect me in the present moment, but the overall plan has kind of already been laid, right? And I kind of feel this in my path. Like when I kind of deviate off the plan, it never kind of works. Like let's say if I try to go back to DJing, it would never kind of work out. Which this has kind of happened in the last couple months, and it's almost like you're deviating off the plan. Your plan is to help as many people as you can and uplift as many people off Kriya Yoga. So if you try to go back to the ego world, it's never going to work for you because you've already kind of left that behind. So like I would say 60% of the plan has been laid out that you have to follow, and you can make daily choices, but it doesn't really affect the overall plan. I mean, this is just my opinion. So I would say it's not a yes or no answer. It's more of a degrees kind of answer, and it depends what kind of plan, what kind of path you're on. If you're on a negative path, obviously you could change correction, but if you're on the correct path, it's more laid out for you. Let's say it like that. I mean, this is this what my intuition says. So it's not a real yes or no answer. It's more of a where you're at in your present life, right? If you're on the negative path, yeah, you could probably change that more than you could change a correct path that you're on, right? So it's more adjusting and pivoting where you're at. But I don't think do you have free will or not is really a cut and dry kind of answer, you know?
Right. That makes sense to me. I'm just going back to like the fallen angels, you know, like God didn't stop them from falling, you know. They chose to do something that was prohibited, I suppose, and they suffered the consequences. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. But
Yeah, and this would go back to like karma. Like you don't want to you're in this life you're trying to burn all your past karma and you're not trying to create new karma. And if you don't create new karma, there's no future karma to burn. So if you chose ignorance over bliss of divine connection or being divine, then that's some karma I wouldn't want to experience. So if a divine being chooses not to be divine, then that's some karma you got to live with, I guess. But if I had the opportunity to be divine, I would cultivate that and enhance it as much as possible. And no matter what happens in the physical world, I wouldn't let it affect my inner divinity. It's like God has opened the door for you and gave you the ultimate treasure, and you want to throw it away for some pleasures of the flesh. I wouldn't recommend it. If God opens the door for me and gives me a opportunity to, let's say, get my wings and enjoy join the enlightened beings around the table, I would definitely enhance that and treasure that forever.
For sure. Good answer.
And you don't want to, like Shiva Angi says, you don't want to downgrade, you want to upgrade, right? So you're trying to go up, you're not trying to go down. So that's what I would say. So the day I get my wings is a super party. I would be very happy to see all the enlightened beings and join Babaji around his campfire. And I'll tell Archangel Michael I said hello for you. You said hello to him.
Thank you. I'm wearing my Archangel Michael shirt also.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a great shirt to have, Archangel Michael, they're all the greatest, All seraphims, all archangels. I mean, I love them all. Just because I'm a Kriya yogi, but I love all spiritual traditions. So,
Yeah, same.
and like I was saying
Like,
before, if you go to Lake Shrine in California, Yogananda's place, SRF, they have shrines for each spiritual tradition. We
wow.
respect all spiritual walks of life. So,
So this Maftar Babaji asked Yuktanand Giri Master to write a book called The Science of Religion, where they come to a conclusion that the world should not, like every religion is same, the essence is same. So
hmm,
I respect all the religions. I just see it as another path to go to divine. That's it. And
right. Like my,
when I was when I was a kid, I used to study in a Christian convent school. And my parents were not that religious. So every Friday they used to take us to church, and I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And the first God I felt was Jesus. And I was like, Jesus is the God. And I could really, and I still resonate with the teaching of Jesus. So I see like God is one, and these are just the path, and like this.
yeah, Jesus is the greatest. And if you
Greatest.
go to SRF, and they have picture of Jesus on their temple.
Yeah.
They have Babaji, Jesus, Krishna, Yukteswar, Yogananda, and Lahiri
Larry
Messiah.
Marsai, yeah.
Yeah, so the in Kriya Yoga we cultivate Christ consciousness. So we see
Yeah.
Christ as our yogic brother. Like
Yeah.
on Christmas we had a great class where I gave mantra diksha for Jesus, which they call in the yogic tradition Yeshua, right? And I remember I went to Hydrocon and there was this tree in the middle of the river and there was no trees around. And I was like, I asked my guru, how is that tree in the middle of the river when there's no trees around it? There's only rocks. And he said, that is not a tree. That's a special tree. That's Yeshua's tree. And I go,
Yeah.
Yeshua? And he was
Hmm.
like, yeah, Yeshua. And I was like, you mean Jesus? And he was like, yeah, that's Jesus's tree. Why do they call it Jesus's tree? Because when he came to India on those 14 missing years, he meditated under that tree. And I was like, you mean to tell me the reason Jesus has these CD powers coming back from the dead is because somebody from the yogic tradition taught him this? He was like, yes, he is our yogic brother. They call him
Yeah.
Roma Rishi, which means a rishi from outside of India. So they would say, Jesus is our yogic brother. We love Jesus. He's us, you know? He comes from our tradition, our parampara. Like, we love Jesus, you know? So every Christmas we had a big Christmas class, which was basically sending love to Jesus, giving mantra diksha for Jesus's phone number, or Yeshua, right? So
Yeah.
they really look at Jesus as their yogic brother. And I
Yes.
was like, so how did he get these, like, how did he come back from the dead, or how did he, in the yogic tradition they would say he learned these CD powers in India when he was there, or
Yeah.
he learned a bunch of stuff from all over the place. But
Mm.
yeah, so in our, I don't remember the name number of the class. Maybe it was 42, but our Christmas class, I showed the similarities in Jesus, is similar to the yogic path. Like Jesus liked to go off into the forest and meditate. We like to go to our forest, or we like to go to our cave and be in silence and meditate. You know, Jesus had cultivated these CD powers. You know, Jesus helped the poor, karma yoga, you know, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I listed the similarities of why Jesus was a yogi. Let's say it like that. You know, many people probably don't like this, but I feel in my intuition that
Yeah.
he had these yogic CD powers, and he used to help people, which is the proper
Yeah.
way in the yogic
E-
tradition.
Even I feel so that, and I think the greatest teaching of Jesus is love and forgiveness. Like the forgiveness part is the greatest teaching ever, I think.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
forgive, yeah. Mm.
In the yogic path, no matter what you do to us, we always forgive you, and we
Yeah,
always cultivate unlimited love. So
exactly.
we never we never have lower emotions like guilt or revenge or anger or
Yeah,
mad. We try to overcome those lower chakras and bring our energy up to the higher chakras.
Oh boy.
They're doing a homework right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a painful time in the Philippines. Homework.
I don't. I had a question. What is the importance of hair in spirituality? Because it seems like um, different cultures, like the India, Hindu, Amish, China, American Indian. I don't know. You look at the mythology; they all have long hair. It seems like hair is very important.
Yeah, so in the yogic tradition, they believe hair carries their energy. So they never really cut their hair. As you could see, like, they have long beards, they have long hair, you know. So they believe it's more of a conductor of their energy, and they don't want to how could I put this? It's like branches of the tree reaching out into the atmosphere, collecting energy for it. So they would say it's a way to collect their prana, and they don't want to cut that. And they're not really attached to their hair. Also, you know, especially on the gory path, they never probably cut their hair. So it's more of a symbolism of detachment. Like, I'm so detached that I don't care what anybody else thinks, so I'll let my hair grow as long as possible. And the gory is like a more extreme renunciate path. They sleep in cemeteries. They rub vibhuti all over themselves. They try to do everything they can to detach from the Maya world. So a hair is like symbolism of growing out your hair to have more branches of the
Antenna.
tree to collect more prana and energy. So they believe their hair is like a conductor of the prana and the shakti and the atmosphere. So they like to grow it as long as possible.
Yeah. And then you see the monks, they like shave their hair. I think they feel like it's like a vanity thing.
Yeah, it's a different path. Like
Yeah.
in Thailand, the Buddhists, they cut their eyebrows, they cut all their hair.
Yeah.
It's kind of a symbolism of rite of passage. When you become 16, you kind of go to the temple and you stay in Thailand for like a month or 2 months, and you cut your eyebrows, you cut all your hair. Is like a symbolism of these things don't serve me in the present moment. I renunciate everything. I cut all my hair. So it's a different path, but it's kind of the same kind of
Yeah.
meaning. It just depends what resonates with you the most.
I'd like to grow my hair out, but my genetics makes it really hard because my hair's thinning, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessary. This is more like a traditional way, Just do whatever feels right to you in the present moment. That's probably the best way, you know. I mean, I don't really resonate with the super hair thing. As you can see, my hair is cut short, so maybe, but I can't say what's going to happen tomorrow. Like maybe 5 years from now, I'll have a white beard and like long hair, like my guru. If you see me looking like Santa
Yeah.
Claus, there he goes. Vedagurudev is ascending to the traditional yogic path.
Yeah. Well, we're always changing.
Like in our culture, if somebody's die, then we for sure cut our hair. Like especially the person who gave who is the part of the cremation, he will bald his hair to remove all the energy which got attached during this process, and to purify themselves, because as Gurudev said, it carries energy. So if you have good energy, you can always grow your hair, and if you feel like you want some purification, you can go bald for some time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's true. In Thailand, when people die, they cut all their hair off as a
Yeah, same.
symbolism, like
Mhm.
removing all the energy. They even cut their eyebrows. So you'll see people who family members have died. They have no eyebrows, right?
yeah, like I don't know. I can think of many times like when I've been in danger, I can like feel like the hairs on my arms raise. So I know
Mm,
like our hair is like an antenna because I can
right.
like I can sense it.
Yeah.
So, but I guess it's like meat. If you yeah, you can have short hair, long hair, not eat meat, don't eat meat.
Yeah.
Just whatever resonates with you.
Yeah, exactly. That is why we have like so many paths for everyone. Nobody should be spared. Everyone
Yeah.
should have their own. Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to sign off for today. I've got to start the day here. So
Sorry,
I've
I
been,
knew you were gonna say that. I could just like it's time.
as you said,
Veronica's intuition
Yeah.
yeah,
is
her
strong.
telepathic powers are working. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I will see you at our next Satsang and possibly the class. Sometimes I can or cannot make the class, but I'll certainly watch it.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Paul. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And
Namaste.
take care out there in the Philippines.
I will do that. I got like another week left, so, and then it's back
Oh,
to the old grindstone.
okay. Well, enjoy it while it lasts.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
All
Bye.
right.
Take
Take
care.
care. Bye bye.
Paul, namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Um, let me think. So why is Kelly so powerful, and how was she born?
Well, how Callie was born is beyond my comprehension. I mean, Callie just carries that fierce, you know, as they would say in the yogic tradition or in our mantra, cream, right? Which is ferocity kind of power, like fierce power, you know? So yeah, I would just say like Callie just has this divine fierce power, and for people that are kind of shy and kind of timid and don't like to speak out, Callie is a good mantra for them, like you have. So like it helps bring you up and embrace your inner cream, your ferocity, your fierce power. For me, Callie is I need less ferocity and I need more calmness. So Callie's not really a good recommended mantra for me
Yeah,
because
too far.
you have a fire, then you have a super fire, if you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah,
that's too much for me. So I want more water on my fire. So
yeah,
my guru recommended less Kali for me and more like Gayatri or these type of mantras.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kali's
So
energy is like the mama bear energy. She's there like if some injustice is happening and people are not saying, so she just come up with this fierce energy to save the world. It's like the bear saving her child. They become furious when somebody's attacking them. So that is the energy of Kali.
Yeah, she like feels like she's just enraged. Like you're not gonna
Yeah,
stop her.
rage. Yeah.
yeah,
But
but that's
but
one form because Kali is divine mother
Mhm.
also,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Shiva
yeah.
Angi said, like Mama Bear also. So she has two sides, you know. I guess whichever one you resonate, because I resonate more with Kali Divine Mother than Feroce tongue
Okay.
sticking out, head cut off head in the hand for Kali.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I have a statue in my house. It's like Kali trying to step on Shiva, but she can't step on Shiva because Shiva's pure consciousness. So it's a good reminder that if you do your inner work, the outside Maya delusional world can't affect you. Because
Mm,
no matter how hard Kali tries to step on Shiva when he's lying on his back, she can't.
mm.
I don't know. Speaking of anger, what do you think is the best way to deal with anger when you like, I don't know, the 9 Patanjali questions, or what do you think? I don't know. In the Kriya Yoga, what do you think is the best way to deal with anger, or just do your
Well,
sadhana?
yeah, there is no best way because it's what works for you the
Yeah.
best. So it would be up to you to see which is the best way to control your anger. But like Patanjali's 9 emotional release techniques are good, you know. And when you step back from the TV and become the detached kind of witness, you begin to see that it doesn't really serve you. You know, your anger, like whatever. It's better to be more of a problem solver than get angry about anything. Instead of saying, getting angry about something, why did this happen to me, why this or that, you more say, okay, how can I overcome this, what are the tools that I have in my toolbox to overcome this, and you start going down the line. All right, let me try Patanjali's 9 emotional release techniques. Can I let this go Am I able to let this go? Am I willing to let this go? Do I know how to let this go? Could I let this go? Am I ready to let this go? Can I let this go now? And you just keep going through those questions until you, like the first question, can I let this go? No, I don't want to let it go. And then you ask yourself why. And then you begin to realize you're holding on to something that you don't need to be holding on to. And you just say, okay, yeah, just let it go. Like
Yeah.
this
Exactly.
anger doesn't serve me in the present moment.
Mm.
It's almost like I'm holding on the trash I should throw away. So you kind of
Yeah.
just let it go. You kind of detach. Like, how does this serve me in the present moment? It doesn't. Why would I get mad about I don't know what's on the news or what somebody said? Uh, it doesn't affect me. So you kind of begin to realize that you only cultivate and enhance what serves you in the present moment, and anger doesn't really serve you in the present moment. And these are lower emotions that cultivate in the lower chakras. So you're always trying to get out of that lower state. You're trying to raise out of the lower state,
Wow.
and you begin to realize when you step back from the TV that these emotions don't serve you in the present moment. My guru used to say, go down to your basement, throw away all the boxes, clear out all the dust, open all the windows, all those boxes that are in front of your door to God, throw them all away. You don't need them, right? So you begin to realize that anger doesn't serve you in the present moment, and it becomes almost like a joke to you. I like when Babaji says in the voice of Babaji, "Death is a joke to me. I am the death of death." So it's basically symbolized. If I could laugh at death, then I could laugh at all this. Anger is a total joke to me, because I laugh at death. I'm not scared of death, so I'm definitely not scared of anger or madness. So you begin to let these lower emotions go because you see they kind of don't serve you. But it's a difficult path, like these I like when Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says your ego is always hiding behind that tree over there. It's around, it's looking for an opportunity to come in. Even in my case, like you think like, oh, look at Vedagurudev, he's a guru, whatever. It tries to come for me too, right? It's always looking for that opportunity, like it's always knocking at your door, seeing if you're home.
Yeah.
Hello? Uh, you feel like being angry today? No. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow,
Yeah.
So all these lower emotions, they're kind of hanging out. They're kind of hiding behind a tree over there. So they're waiting for you, that door to open, right? Can I come in your house today? Not today, never. All right, I'll come back tomorrow,
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah. They try
always
to get
kind
under
of
your skin.
lingering around, So it
Mm.
it, it takes a lot of practice to step back from the TV and become the detached witness and kind of laugh at your kind of lower emotions, anger, guilt, jealousy. So sometimes you even got to catch yourself. I catch myself all the time, like oh, like there's so many of these traps or these rabbit holes to go down and get you angry. And through your whole life you've been conditioned to get emotional about certain things and to kind of reel that back or go back to zero, as I like to say, or my guru said, is kind of hard. It takes a little work, right? So even me, I catch myself sometimes, like somebody will cut me off in traffic and I'll be like, hey, and then I go, wait a minute, let me stop, let me breathe, and let me say, I'm not that type of person no more. So I catch myself going down that
Yeah.
path, and it's difficult not to go down that path because you've been conditioned to go down that path your whole life, right? Like he
Oh.
can't do that to me. What? He can't do that to me, and you kind of gotta stop yourself. I remember when I was growing up in America, they had a commercial, and there was it was on TV, and they were like, there was like a baby crying, and there's this lady cooking eggs, and she was starting to get frustrated, and she went to hit the baby, and it paused, and it said, before you do something you'll regret, just count to 10 and breathe, you know? So I always think of that,
Wow.
like, before I do something I don't want to do and before I hit my baby, let me just breathe, and let me just breathe it
Mm.
out, and let me count to 10.
Yeah.
1,
Mm.
2, 3. You know, by the time you get to 10, you're like, oh, it's gone. I don't even know why I thought that. You know, it almost got me. You know, so before you hit your baby, count to 10. And before you do something you don't want to do or you'll regret later, just count to 10. And yeah, I always used to think like, when I would drive by like jail or like prison, I would think there are a lot of people in there. If they just counted to 10, they wouldn't be in there. So they made a split decision that really affected their life for the rest of their life. So don't do anything you will regret. Just breathe, and it's not worth it. None of this is worth it, you know? So just let it go and don't do anything. Like, who cares if they disrespected you? It's not that important. If you know who you are inside you, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, you know, because you know who you are. If if you know you're a self-realized person or a self-realized being, then no one can tell you who you're not, right? So if somebody says, "Oh, you're stupid. You don't know how to drive your car," you're like, I don't feel stupid. I know I'm pretty smart, you know. So
Yeah.
what
I
you
don't
think
believe you.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So what your projections of me doesn't become my own projections, right? That's important.
Yeah.
So you always have your Cavachum shield kind of up, like, not affect me, you know, unaffected, you know, don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, and you begin to see most of the people kind of live their life like this. I want to buy a new car so my neighbor thinks I'm cool, or I want to have a lot of zeros in my bank account so people like me. Or you begin to see none of that really matters, and that's why I like the sannyasi kind of path, the renunciate path. You know, like my guru is. So like they don't care about nothing. You know, they
Mm.
renunciate everything, right? And they're basically almost kind of walking around India with the clothes on their back. They don't have any possessions or materialism. They're just wandering the Himalayan mountains, which is a beautiful thing. I resonate with that path.
Yeah, but if you see somebody being harmed or hurt, you still need to. I feel like the right thing to do would be to step in. Like, nope,
Yeah.
not getting involved. But if you're contributing, if you don't like stop something bad happening,
What that's a different situation. If you see a child or a woman getting harmed and you could do something, by all means stop that. You
Mm.
know?
Yes.
Like don't be a witness to somebody getting hurt, you know?
Exactly.
Like help out as much as you can, no matter what happens, you know? So yeah, yeah, I would say that, but I would say inside you, as long as people aren't hurting you and they're or hurting your family and they're just saying words in the air, it
yeah,
doesn't really matter. It's like clouds passing. Your mountain is unshakable, and these clouds are just passing your mountain, but your mountain doesn't move no matter what, you know? So just water under the bridge, clouds passing in the sky. You could say whatever you want, but just don't hurt me or my family, and we'll be cool, you know?
yeah,
So be the mountain unshaken by the snow, the sun, the wind, or the clouds, you know? But I know it's difficult because there are a lot of wind and a lot of clouds and a lot of sun out here trying to hurt your mountain. So you just got to be unshakable like the mountain and let it pass. It's not
yeah,
worth it, you know?
yeah. You just encounter like racist, rude, just really horrible people. But yeah,
Mm.
You just,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. They're out there for sure. It's a war zone. It's a minefield out here in this Maya world. You know, when my guru told me I had to go back to the Maya world, I had to shed a tear because I was like, Baba, please, there are monsters down there. Please don't send me back. He's like,
yeah. I don't want to be
Vedagurudev,
around
you
them.
got to go back. You got many people to help. You can't stay here. I was like, oh man, you know. So it it's like yogis live such a blissful life inside themselves as themselves. So if they have to go to Delhi, it's almost like, oh, please, no. Delhi, the traffic, the pollution, so it, they want to stay in their happy place, their bubble, their ananda, their blissful state. So I can
Yesterday,
relate.
yesterday I was in Delhi's traffic. I could totally get it. Like it took me like 3 hours. I was in traffic for 6 hours actually, from 5:30 to 11. It's horrible. And thank
Yes.
you for asking that question, Veronica. I literally
You're
wanted
welcome.
to hear that, this anger thing, because I control my anger, but sometimes I become so impulsive and I react. And since we
Yeah,
all are in the, yeah, and after that, in the moment I do it, and after that I have this guilt and shame feeling, which is, so anger is above guilt and shame. And once I become angry, then my energy becomes more lower, I have this guilt and shame of, because I'm aware that I'm doing wrong. I'm not in denial, that I'm not blaming other, you are only wrong. The moment I become angry and shout or something I do, after my mind calms, I have this great guilt, which is more dangerous. you know I just want, like, thank you
yeah.
for asking that question to Gurudev, because I wanted this reminder for myself, because I was going through these things from like couple of days. That is why I was not able to like come up in the classes, and there were a couple of things happening. But thank you so much,
You're
Gurudev
welcome.
and Veronica.
Yeah, Vedguru Dev, what you were saying about the mother, the screaming baby, and before you make a split decision, just breathe. I don't know. My mother, she slapped me across my face so hard she broke my nose, but she didn't
Mm.
have the skill set to deal with the screaming baby. So now I can forgive her, but for a long time I was really angry because it's like my nose is too big for my face, and maybe that's why I have all these breathing problems. But I don't know. I can't. I just have to let it go. So yeah, and I think a lot of people just don't have the tools to deal with their pain. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I like what you said. Just breathe. Takes before you make a split decision. I think that's very
So
valuable.
I'll just ask one thing which I did. So I was going through this phase where I was like completely in anger with the whole family and whole world and everyone. I was just seeing the suffering, and this was the past 2 weeks. And from 2 days, I started meditating on beach mantra of uh, uh, Mahavtar Babaji, that is Om
Mm.
Kriya, which we do, right? Om Kriya Babaji Namaum.
Yeah,
And so when I started doing it, like couple of maybe 20-30 times, I was not able to come to that vibration. But after that, my body started vibrating in a very high frequency, and that persisted, Veronica. That persisted. And when I woke up in the morning, I could see that clarity in the silence. Maybe I did it for a very long time. I did it for approx 2.5 hours. And the more I did, the more silence persisted next day. And I was able to handle the same situation which I was not able to handle like 2 weeks back. So this thing too, I literally proved that if we chant, and then so what I was doing is I was chanting for like 20 times, and then 2-3 minutes I was just silence, complete silence. And whenever I was feeling the vibration is getting little low, again started chanting. So I was making it a like a big energy feel around me, and that persisted for like from 2 days it's persisting. and I could join the class,
Yeah.
because I was not able to do anything. I was like so much in pain that I was like just seeing the suffering, suffering, suffering. But after that beach month, I started chanting, like things got changed. Like this is recent experience of mine from past 3 days, I'm saying. So this is I started doing, and I felt it. It's a it, this so everyone has their own tool, right? Something will not resonate with you, and something will not resonate with me. But this is the thing I found for myself, and I was like so happy.
Mm.
This is working for me, I said, because even if I chant couple of mantras, different mantras, but this mantra, and I used to chant it earlier also, but I never felt the, how to say, uh, the thing which I should feel earlier because of this. But from last to put 2 days, like everything is now changing.
Yeah.
And
I
you
know
see,
it.
just saying Babaji's mantra can really
Mm,
help uplift you and get you through the day
yeah.
and help you overcome whatever you're going through. And
Mm,
people think like this Kriya Yoga sadhana practice is like a difficult thing. Sometimes
mm,
the most simplest practice are the best. Like Purnasudi, complete yogic breath. Just inhale, exhale through your nose. Really can really help get you through the day. Even Shavasana, just laying on your back with your arms and
yeah.
legs spread, can really help you, get into a deep state of relaxation. So it's not difficult like people think. Like people see yoga on TV and they think like I don't know, the plow pose or the wheel pose, and they're like, I could never do that. I mean, I even said that myself. But like you see, the simplest things are oftentimes the most profound. Like just chanting Babaji's Mula mantra to yourself will really help get you through the day and get you out of a anger state into a more peaceful and blissful, calm state.
Hmm. When my mind started calming down, I started attracting good things.
Yeah.
Mm,
So what happened? I quit my job on February 20th, and after that I didn't got the salary for that 20 days. They were doing full and final, and I was in a frustration because I was little struggling for money. I was asking my parents, and they were helping me out, but I had this sense, why should I ask them, right? I should not take help of them. And I was like very frustrated for last couple of days because there are a couple of things which I needed to do and I was not able to do. And after I meditated like 2 3 days continuously, and suddenly my salary got the for last 20 days my salary got credited. And I was
mm.
like ki, wow, well, I was so happy because I felt ki, since my vibration is right now high, I'm attracting all the good things, because my salary could have been credited any day, right, any day. But after me meditating only it got credited. So I was relating it, that my maybe because I'm attracting again, started attracting like good things.
Yeah, when you raise your vibration, you start to attract good things. I mean, you begin to realize lower vibrations don't really serve you. It's like trash
Yeah.
you're really carrying around. You don't need to carry this trash. Throw it away. It doesn't serve you. Why are you carrying this rock around? It doesn't serve you. Let this rock go. So
Yeah.
you begin to see like the more you cultivate higher vibrations and love and peace and happiness and staying in a blissful state, the more you attract that to you. And I could say
Yeah.
in my case, last week, that was the
Yeah.
thing. I
Yeah.
didn't let myself get into a sad state. I let it getting into a blissful kind of victory state. Like all the sadness I've done, I'm cashing out my spiritual bank right
Yeah.
now and giving it to a worthy cause. So, and things, when you have that kind of mindset, things kind of come into place. Like things take care of themselves. So you realize when you're worrying about something or you're being angry about something, it doesn't it doesn't solve the problem in the present moment. So when you raise your vibration, and through like mantra japa or through any of these kriya yogic practices, they really uplift you and they solve the problem for you. They fill in the blanks, right? Like you project this energy out into the universe, and the universe solves your problems for you.
And like most of the time it's not us who are like we are in the spiritual path, and it not, I think it's not us who is like I think the people's energy is affecting us. What I felt is,
Mm.
because if I'm alone or I'm with people who are like very easy to go, or they have a good vibration and frequency, I never get angry. But when I'm around with people who are getting angry, so I
Mm.
get angry, so they are transferring those energy. So I felt, how can I protect my energy, right? How can I not get affected by their emotions? That is the thing I need to work. Veda Gurudev, if you have any classes, or if you can help me out, or have any classes where we can learn how to protect our energies, because I know my energy is good, Veronica knows her energy is good, but she might be also getting affected by other people energy, right? So how to cultivate that, like a circle of energy, whatever, a field, to protect my energy,
Yeah,
if
so
you
I
can
would
help.
say in our school we have the Kavacham shield mantra, which is exactly
Okay.
that. It's a protection shield mantra, and I'll send it to you. But yeah,
Mm.
when I go out into the Maya world, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
here they come. They're coming,
Mm.
So I say my Kavacham mantra, shield mantra, and I put up my shield. But I agree with you. They're all out there, and they're all trying to
Mm.
ping your shield, and they definitely don't want to see some uplifted person when they're not uplifted. It's like a smack in their face. You're almost like a mirror to them. Like, how can this guy be so happy when I'm so sad? So they hate it the most. So you have to. I was telling Veronica earlier, like the thing I like about the Bible is when he says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil." So even
Mm.
though there's so much darkness around you, you got to be the shining light that shines no matter what and is unshakable by their darkness. But I agree, like when you're in an environment with so many low frequency beings, it tries to drag you down also.
Yeah,
So you just got
exactly.
to keep staying uplifted no matter what. Like I said, yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I should fear no evil, right? So no
Mm.
matter how much darkness is around me, I am a shining bright light, So,
Yeah.
but it takes some work for sure. They're de- they're
Yeah.
definitely they're definitely coming for me too. Like when I leave my house in Thailand, I say, "All right, they're out here." Which way, in
Mm.
Thailand, it's like India, motorcycles driving every which way.
Mm.
It's this,
No.
it's this chaos, like,
Mm.
so I'm like, they're coming for me. Even though I live outside the city, they're still out here. So where are they at? I'm
Yeah.
ready for them. My guru always used to say, how would he say this? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Like we're doing
Mm.
all this sadhana, so we can integrate it into our daily life. So when we go outside, we have our tools in our toolbox, and we're ready to
Mm.
dance. So we're looking. Where you at? Okay, I got something for you today. Where are you at? Okay, that's the
Mm.
best you got. You ain't got nothing. So, but they're definitely coming. They come for me too. Like I don't know, like they'll cut me off in traffic. They'll try to do everything they can to get me out of my samadhi state.
Mm.
But they're coming for sure. So if you have that kind of mindset and that perspective, like it's not always going to be peace and harmony out here. This is the Maya delusional world. It's chaos. It's crazy. So if I have the right mindset, there's a great class in our Kriya Yoga school called Ananda Bliss meditation. It's basically going to your happy place. And you begin to realize no matter what's happening in the outside chaotic world, if you close your eyes and meditation or dhyan, you can go to your happy place. And your happy
Okay.
place is lower emotions aren't welcome. Anger is not welcome. You are
Yeah.
the director of your happy place, and you make your happy place as happy as you want. If you want your happy to be place to be Rishikesh, you just close your eyes and go to Rishikesh, and you'll be in your happy place. Or if your
Yeah.
happy place is the cave in the Himalayan mountains, you go to your Himalayan mountain cave and just exist there. And you can make your
Yeah.
Himalayan cave as big or as small as you want. You are the director of your movie. Your weather can be however you want. You make it exactly how you want it to be in your happy place.
I have a question, Gurudev. Like sometimes it's very difficult to visualize things, you know. If I want to visualize something, it's tough. And sometimes if I'm trying to visualize a light coming on me or somebody else, if I'm trying to help somebody and I picture them and see that the universe, this light is coming from source, maybe blue color,
Mm.
whatever color. So it's very difficult to visualize. Like how can we do that? Like
Mm.
how
Well,
you guys do?
I would say the first technique I learned when I got initiated in the Kriya yoga is called Sudi, which basically means purifying cleansing. So my guru always would say before we go into meditation, we do our Sudi. So Sudi is
Mm,
basically detaching, letting go. So it's like a thought comes into your mind, like, what am I going to eat for dinner? Detach, let go. Uh,
mm,
what is the president going to do today? Detach, let go. Detach, let go. Detach, let go. So
mm.
you're cleansing your thoughts before you go into meditation. And
Okay.
when you go into meditation or visualization, once you don't have any thoughts, you're clear, right? Like there's no
Mm,
thoughts, right? Then you have a profound connection or a profound visualization where you could say, like, okay, I want to visualize Lord Shiva in the blue form. But when there's no monkey mind or no mental clutter in your mind, you can do that way more easily. So it's basically clearing all the distractions and taking out the trash and throwing it away before you go into a visualization or a meditation. So you're basically cleansing your thoughts before you go into that. Because if you try
yeah.
to go into a visualization with a monkey mind or mental clutter, it's going to be hard because it's going to be constantly attacking you. So you got to kind of clear that out. You got to clear the table and throw away the trash on the curb, if you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
before you try to do the visualization. And that's probably
Mm,
the best way you can have a profound meditation or a profound visualization.
mm. Thank you, Gurudev. Makes sense.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah, I find it like doing the mantras, I kind of clear my mind too, because I'm not thinking about anything. I'm so focused on the mantra. So I feel like that helps. And I'm usually doing it when I'm driving and I don't know, like I'll get all green lights or I find the parking spot. So good things happen when I do mantras. So
Yeah, when you do mantras, like you have the laser focus on the bija, the sound syllables of the mantra. So my guru used to say we don't have time for anything else because we're focused on the bees and vibrating that bija mantra, like that sound syllable. So his visualization was like when you're doing mantra japa, imagine you're walking a tightrope over the Himalayan mountains. You're unaffected by the height or the surroundings. You're laser focused on the tightrope with the bija mantra. So that's why I really like it too, because it almost directly forces you to focus on the sound syllable of the bija mantra. So, and no matter what thoughts you have or what's going around you, you're when you have that laser focus on that, that bindu point, like on the mantra, then you really
Yeah.
can't be affected. So that's another powerful way to really clear your mind. Like if you do mantra japa before you do any kind of mantra or any kind of meditation or visualization, it will really help you focus, because you'll kind of clear out all those distractions, all that monkey mind or that mental clutter before you go into your meditative state.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I'm chanting mantra, I'm just like I'm just noticing which syllable is making which part of my body vibrate.
Mm.
So I have found some syllables vibrating just my throat. Some are like going, just a om will go like completely from your throat till down, but
Mm.
other just vibrate one part, another part. So I always like notice such things, which syllable is vibrating which part of my body.
Yeah. I don't, are you okay?
I'm gonna put my feet down a
Yeah,
second.
you gotta
My
stretch
feet are
out.
trying to go. What time? It's almost 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's night there.
Where I'm at?
Yeah.
You're
No, it's
daily.
day. It's like
Okay.
11 a.m. where I'm at.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
night for me.
Yeah. I just woke up with Veronica's message, and then I just sat on my bed, and my this iPhone was not working because my charger was not like working, so it was like dead. Then I went to my sister's place. She was sleeping, and I took a charger and started charging this phone.
Mm.
Till then, I joined with another phone from YouTube.
Nice. So I don't know. I question I have is like karma. Is this karma just work like you just get, if you live a bad life, you just don't progress on the karma wheel? Because they always say like you'll get your karma, but I'm not really sure how karma really works.
Yeah. Well, I would say first of all, like my guru used to say, we don't really worry about our karma. We just do our inner work. So it kind of plays out the way it plays out. And the way my guru explained it to me, he said, let me see if I get this right. Agama karma is past life karma. Uh, Pradraha karma is present day life karma, and Sanchita karma is future karma. I might have that wrong, but yeah. So basically, the sadhana we're doing, we're burning all our karma that we have from all our previous reincarnations. And if you don't really create no karma in the present moment, you don't really have nothing to burn. And if you burn everything, you don't have no future karma. So my guru just used to say, just go through your sadhana and don't really worry too much about karma, because indirectly all the sadhana that we're doing on a daily basis is burning all our karma anyway. So we don't really focus on it. We just let the process kind of happen. So they would say all the asanas we do, burning karma. All the pranayama we're doing, burning karma. All the meditation we're doing, burning karma. Mantra japa, burning karma. Bhakti, burning karma. So everything we're doing is kind of burning karma. But in my case, I don't really think about it too much. It's not like a uh, expectation I have. It's just a process I go through, and it indirectly kind of burns in my perception. So all the sadhana I'm doing is indirectly burning all my karma. So I wouldn't think about it too much. I would just let the process happen.
So what happens to the people that don't do that, that are just like, living horrible lives and cheating people, hurting people?
Well, yeah, that they're living in their ignorance. So that's something they would have to grow from and learn from, so they could get off the hamster wheel and not repeat. Like the reason my guru would say the reason people have so many incarnations because they don't learn from their
Hmm.
mistakes. They
Yeah.
don't they don't they don't uh they don't pivot and change course, right? They keep doing the same life over and over and over and cheating people this life, cheating people next life, thousands of life incarnations over and over. But
Mhm.
when you learn from your mistakes, you realize that's not the way. I could say in my case, like I realized when I got on the path of Kriya Yoga that this was the way for me. And so like the way I was living my life pre Kriya Yoga was not the way. So I kind of pivoted and changed course, and it worked out for the best. Some people never pivot and change course. They just keep going over and over,
Yeah.
Hmm.
like you begin to realize that these material things don't come with you, and they have no meaning to Babaji in the astral plane. You know, Babaji
Hmm.
does not care what car I drive. He
No.
doesn't care how many zeros I have in my bank account. None of this matters. What the best way to serve Babaji and please Babaji is by the sadhana you do every day. So he's more concerned about the money I have in my sadhana bank. My guru always used to say, "We might not have a lot of rupees, but we are millionaires in the bank of Babaji." So that's the way I always like to look at it. So the
Yeah.
inner work I'm doing is more important than the physical, material Maya attachments that I had previous to Kriya Yoga. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I liked
and
your
and
Babaji quote today. It was about love. So yeah, I think the love you put out in the world is important.
yeah, you could never go wrong with love. Like I said before, my guru
Yeah.
said, love is not 5 beans you have in your hand. Love is unlimited. So if you could give unlimited love, why not give it to everybody as much as you can wholeheartedly? And that is the best way to love everybody, love
Yeah.
others the way you love yourself. And, you can never go wrong with love. Unconditional love, unlimited love, all outstanding things to aspire to for sure.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. It was like, I love those who love others. It's so simple.
Mm,
Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The simplest quotes are the most profound. Like I love those who love others, right? So if you
Yeah.
can not only love yourself but love the God inside other people and see Babaji's unconditional love in everywhere and everything, not only people, but animals, trees,
yeah.
flowers, whatever, sun, nature, wind, everything you see as a expression of love from the divine. It's always a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. So I always try
Yeah.
to keep that in mind. Like Babaji is everywhere and everything. So God is everywhere and everything. Like I am Shiva and Shiva is me. I am Babaji and Babaji is me. So I kind of
Hmm.
like to look at that as like a reminder or a reflection in the mirror that I should aspire to every day, not only love myself, but love others in all their flaws and all their mistakes also, So
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
yoga, we try to live in equanimity. There's no good or bad. It's all equal. Even though people are flawed and they make a lot of mistakes and they do a lot of dumb stuff, we still see the divine spark inside them as them, you know? So it's
Yeah.
still of expression of God in a lower form, but still an expression of God.
Yeah. I even love the people that hurt me because you showed me how strong I am and I still
Hmm.
True.
got back up. So yeah, I
Wow.
love everybody.
Yeah, when you have that mindset, it really uplifts you and gets you
Hmm.
into a higher state of awareness and a blissful state. Like Shiva Angi said, if you can forgive everybody, that's like the highest ahimsa, right? Like you're
Yeah.
helping everybody, you're
Hmm.
uplifting everybody. I don't care what you do to me, I still forgive you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The greatest teaching of Jesus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Recently, I saw a documentary in Netflix called Lost Children, and it was about a plane crash in the Amazon forest, and how this Amazon, they so the tribal people of Amazon pray Amazon forest as a mother nature, like as a divine
Mm,
entity, and how she helped those children. So while seeing that documentary, I started crying, not because people are dead, or but the children were eventually found, but I started crying because I felt how much we are making this mother earth serve. She's just
mm,
providing, and we are just, matlab, how we are misusing her.
Yeah.
And I started crying, and I said sorry to Mother Earth on behalf of all the humans. I said,
mm,
whatever I can do for you, I'll always do, or I'll try to heal you from whatever ways I can do. So this feeling was so profound, and I was like, I don't know. So in that moment, I felt ki even though if mother nature is like forgiving all the humans, right? They are cutting her trees and digging her, cutting the mountains, making roads, and giving us so much pain, but she's forgiving and only providing. So I
mm,
felt this thing I need to cultivate, forgiving, because a mother can always forgive her children, right? Every time they can, like, a good mother can always do. Even I do
yeah.
with my niece, and whatever mistake they do, I always forgive them. But it's very difficult for us to forgive people who are of our age, or who are elder to us. So
Mm,
I thought maybe I could see them, uh, I being a mother, like I being a more uplifted human, and they are little, I'm not saying in an ego form, but they are not in that vibration state. So I can consider that as a, like, mother nature, and forgive them. I was thinking in that way, how to start forgiving people who have hurted me and all, like.
mm. Yeah, great.
Yeah. I don't. It's like I don't know. Like I'll there's like a movie in our heads, and we'll think about things from the past, and it almost feels like it's happening for real. I
Yeah.
almost like I have to like turn that movie off, because it's like I'm thinking about somebody that hurt me, but they're not thinking about me. They don't care about me. So why am I
Mm,
giving them power to like
yeah.
about something that happened 20 years ago? So
Mm.
I kind of feel like I don't know. I have to turn the movie off. I can't keep replaying those scenes. They're not serving me. I don't know. That's one thing to do.
Yeah. And if you think about your past thing, uh, what I do is, like, right now my present is getting affected because of the past, and this will affect my future, and this suffering will continue. So this thought,
Mm,
when it comes to my mind, I try to, like, just remove all the things which I am thinking about the past. But during my menstrual cycle, it's very difficult. Like, before that, like, I'm normal, the same thing I can tolerate, the same past even I can forget and forgive. But during my menstrual cycle, it's very difficult. Everything comes up in a very bad way. So this thing I need to learn how to be very aware during my those times, that the same thing is not affecting me earlier, but why it's affecting me right now. This thing I need to work on.
Yeah. I don't know. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could. Yeah, when you were talking about Mother Earth, I was starting to get choked up. I'm like, please don't cry, Veronica. Yeah.
I cried for somewhat maybe half an hour for her. And that love for her was so pure. I could sense her love. I said, Ki, she's just doing, and we are not doing 1% for her. Like, this was so much like, I don't know. And I was not into any like my menstrual cycle. I was like completely conscious and like normal. But I was so emotional and I was just crying, crying, crying. And I felt whatever I can do, I'll do for you. So maybe like if I even go outside in my balcony, there are a couple of trees. It's a beautiful place where I live. So I always say to the trees, thank you so much for providing this oxygen. Thank you for giving this. Like, I always say thank you to them and be grateful that if you are not there, we are not here. But nobody cares. People are just cutting you and giving you pain, but you are just giving us fruit back. You are not taking anything from us. You're giving us all the things which we need to live. Food. You're giving us air. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, there's and these are the greatest thing. These are the greatest being. We don't consider them as a being. But the trees, Mother Earth, they are the greatest thing. Without them, we don't exist.
Yeah.
And the people don't think like that. It's very hard to find people who think in those way.
I think that's beautiful. I think, we should thank the trees, the earth for everything it provides us. And they probably love it when you do that. So I know I'll like talk to my plants, and I've had them for like 10 years. So like, oh, you're
Yeah,
so beautiful.
yeah.
You're so
And
strong. Keep growing.
my mom said, if you talk to plants, they will grow more beautifully. When you talk
Yeah,
to
for
them.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, my two plants, they're like hitting the ceiling. So, and especially now that since I do the mantras, they like that too. They like the sound. They like the
Yeah.
om.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, like Mother Nature can take us out just like that. And then it comes back. Mother Nature is so much stronger than us.
Hmm.
So,
You should watch this documentary, Lost Children,
lost children.
in
Okay.
Netflix. And
Oh,
there is another documentary. It's very motivating. It's Mountain Queen.
Mountain Queen.
Yeah,
Okay. Is that on Netflix too?
yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds like something uplifting instead of
Mhm.
all the junk we watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
You had your breakfast, Gurudev?
Nope. Fasting.
I'm
Are you
fasting.
really?
Yeah. After this, I'll eat, but
So, like doing your I don't know, like doing your sadhana, it helps like doing it on an empty stomach. Well,
yeah, I would do my asanas. Helps on an empty
yeah.
stomach. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of
It
recommended to
does.
do it on an empty stomach.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't. I try not to eat before I do my sadhana. Is kind of a
Mm.
yogic traditional thing. And I really don't eat too much. I probably eat like once a day.
Yeah.
I follow the yogic Himalayan principle of eat what you can hold in your fist. So I eat a
Mm.
little bit, but I'm pretty much trying to cultivate nourishment and sustainability from the prana and the atmosphere and the higher vibrations and the shakti. So I don't really need too much food.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I had dinner or lunch, and then after that I chant, I could see that it's not working properly.
Mm.
But when my stomach, or maybe like when I have an empty stomach, or after 4 or 5 hours, maybe 3 hours of eating, then I could see that the mantras and the uh, it's working, and I can go into deep meditations very deeply. But when my stomach is full, it's very hard to even concentrate.
Yeah.
But it should be the other way around, but it's the it's the other way, because people say when you have an empty stomach you think a lot, like, because you only think of eating in that way, right? But it's not the other way.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about food the whole time.
Until
So,
we brought it up.
yeah, you'd be surprised how long you could fast if you try it, you know. And
Hmm.
it's good to like purify and cleanse like
Yeah,
last week I had a lot on my plate, so it's good to kind of get it all out,
yeah,
and come back to a normal state.
yeah. Once this inflammation goes now, you will just see, if you start eating less, or have just 2 meals, little little, you will
Yeah.
just see how your inflammation goes away. Within 4 days you will see the difference. You will have so much clarity,
Right.
everything. Yeah. When I start eating a lot of junk, maybe uh, because of some stress or what, I could just see my I'm taking wrong decision, I'm getting more angry, I'm getting more going into the guilt stage or whatever. But when
Yeah.
I'm eating less, I'm to like few days I'll feel little lethargic, but after that this the energy spikes up in a very exponential way.
So I'm not saying this in a judgmental way, but like I was just thinking, like being vegetarian. I don't know. I would think that because you're not eating that karma, that you can go farther with your sadhana, just not eating meat. But I understand like people have health challenges and they need it. But I don't know. I don't know. My intuition is saying that it would kind of help you go farther, not eating meat.
Actually, I'll just say one thing, then Gurudev. I like, what I feel is God has created this universe where animal eats animal, which is very normal. But when we become human, we still eat animals. But when we evolve as a human, we should not do that. We should stop eating it, and we should see because we are saying every time that everything is God is in everywhere, God is in all the
Mm.
animals, then why we are killing it? So this, after having a certain consciousness level, you will stop eating, what I feel. And even I'm not able to do it right now, I'm
Yeah,
also struggling. But this is my way, this is what I think is, because once you become very highly conscious, then you will not feel killing or making other animals suffer, because you see God in each and everything.
Mm.
Then why you will kill or make suffer some animal because of your momentary happiness? Because when we eat meat, it's just a momentary happiness.
Mm.
But the animal is dead. An animal
yeah,
suffered and died. He doesn't die while sleeping. He suffered and died. We make a conscious decision of killing him, and then we eat it just for a momentary happiness. So that is like what I feel.
yeah. I don't know. It's
But
hard for me because I cook for a living, and it's just like
yeah, no,
I don't know.
no,
Oh,
they
and
I
everybody
think
wants me
it's,
to taste their food. Like,
yeah, you are doing your job, and
yeah,
God has given you this path of like, to you being a chef. So I don't think it's wrong,
yeah,
but yeah, but try to avoid, if you feel like, try to avoid as much as you can. Like, if you have a choice of eating veg and non-veg, then I think you should go for veg.
I know when Ved Mooney was on, he suggested being just try doing it once a week. Just like one day you just devote just all vegetarian. So I was thinking I'll try
Yeah,
that just once a week and then just build up again.
Yeah, just start off slow at your own pace and
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what you could do. But I understand being in America, it's difficult. because you're
Hmm.
getting bombarded by meat subconscious messages 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and all the celebrations are food. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. And it's meat food, you know?
yeah,
Thanksgiving, Christmas, I don't know, whatever, barbecue, you know, all kinds of stuff. So in India, it's a lot easier because, like I said, when I was in the Himalayan mountains, there was no meat available, so it made it easy to become veg. There was
Yeah.
no, you either eat veg or you don't eat. So, you know, and in the Himalayan mountains, there was I don't know, lentils, roti, and like dal or something, you know, basic
Yeah.
rice, you know. So if you wanted to eat, that's what you ate. You know,
yeah.
there was no options. You know, that was the only option.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think about
So
opening up a vegetarian restaurant. I get so excited. It's like I want to make vegetarian food that tastes good. I'm like, but it's
Yeah.
still,
yeah, cool.
yeah, good
Sounds
for you,
beautiful.
spiritually healthy. Yeah.
You pray to Shakti, right? There is a part of India which is called West Bengal where the prime goddess is Durga. And we
Mm,
have this festival of Navratri. 9 days we
mm-hmm,
celebrate, right? So, other part of India, nobody eats or everyone eats vegetarian food. But that part of India celebrate by eating non-veg food. So they give prasadam as a they put fish because they are like coastal people, so they give food fish as a prasad to
mm,
people. So nothing is wrong or right, Veronica. Don't have this guilt
yeah,
that
yeah,
I can't
Yeah.
do this, I'm not able to do this. Everything is correct. But make sure that if you can avoid, you can avoid. If you can feel and resonate with the suffering, then only you avoid. If it's normal and if you think it's a part of nature, then you don't have to do it. Because earlier when I started resonating with the suffering of animal, then the idea came in my mind to quit non-veg. But at least to go in that path, because I was resonating with the suffering. But God has created this nature where one animal is eating another animal, so it's not wrong for the God, right? Or as God has created something else. So this is not wrong.
Yeah,
But
nothing's
if you
wrong, but
have, yeah, if you have this conscious choice, then I think you should it's like, yeah, whatever, like, but make sure if you have options, then go for vegetarian, like.
yeah, I just need to make sure that I'm giving my body what it needs because I know I'll go crazy if I don't know, I just need to give myself the right things because I know I'm gonna want some kind of protein. So,
Yeah. Mhm. It's fine, it's
so
completely fine. Because in Hinduism only, I told you, some people sacrifices goat, and they give this to goddesses, as a prasad.
mm,
So you can see two different things happening for the same god, and God is helping both of them. God is
yeah,
uh, giving her shower to people who are eating meat also, and who are not
mm.
eating meat also. So it's not bad. So don't have this guilt. I just want you to have this. Don't have this guilt. Whatever is available to you, just be happy and eat. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Vedagurudev, what was your thoughts on like your practice? Does that help you? Do you feel like it helps you not eating like the general? I don't know because I think that there's something to it.
Yeah, I would say it helps me. I mean, definitely doing my asanas on an empty stomach helps me get deeper into the stretch, you know, deeper into the pose. So, and you don't have that heaviness, kind of bloatedness with eating. You could kind of, you know, like Nali pranayama or like Nabi mudra, you could really get it in there because there's nothing in there, you know.
Yeah,
So,
Mhm.
so yeah, it definitely it definitely helps. But I mean, I don't I don't really think about it. It's more my daily sadhana, my daily practice that I kind of I mean, I don't really think about it. It's just the system I do that works for me, but I can't say that it would work for everybody. It's just what
Hmm.
helps uplift me. So,
Yeah.
but I would say I feel a lot lighter and a lot easier to do certain asanas by eating vegetarian veg. So it you don't feel as heavy. Let's say it like that, and
Yeah.
it's not as much of a struggle to get into different asanas and everything. So I would say it helps me, but
Yeah.
it's only my personal preference. I
Yeah.
can't
It was
say it
just
will
like
work for
your
everybody.
preference. Yeah.
I mean, what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me.
Exactly.
It's just whatever works best for you. That is the best sadhana,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yes. Multiple people, multiple sadhanas, like multiple paths we have, right? Because if
Yeah.
every,
Yeah,
because people are different, or else we all have been cloned. So God knew it. That is why God knows that Veda Gurudev need this path, Shivangi need this path, Veronica need this path. But this is the path you are taking, but ultimately you are reaching to me only.
yeah,
Even
Mhm.
sometimes like people who are only veg, but they if they eat a lot, they will feel heavy, right? They will feel
yeah,
really
true.
heavy. So even if you eat meat or you don't eat meat or you just have vegetarian, just make sure that when you feel like you're going to get full, just stop it. Like you have to stop, like it 80% stomach you have to eat, 20% you have to leave, you know. Sometimes we eat like 100% and sometimes 110 also if the food is very delicious. We just
Yeah.
can't stop eating. Even I do
Yeah.
that. But don't do it that. Just think keep, like after, if you're like if you want more, then stop it. Like just take up whatever you want, and then if you feel like eating more, then just stop it. Be it anything, veg or non-veg, anything. This you should do, like what I feel.
Yeah. I just
Like,
gotta be disciplined. It's just food is so, I don't know. It's just eating just feels so good. I'm like,
yeah.
oh man.
Yeah, I understand. When I went to Sizzler with Brian, I couldn't stop myself.
Yeah, all these options.
All these options, I've died and gone to heaven, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to take a break on the. Well, I still eat vegetarian, but like uh, today, I'm gonna be a bogar. I'm gonna enjoy as much as I can. When God blesses me with the buffet at Sizzler, I'm gonna eat as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important too, to like enjoy life too. I
Yeah,
mean,
enjoy for sure.
Hmm.
My favorite Sita is Boganantar. I got
yeah,
initiated in Sri Lanka, Katagarma, where his yantra is embedded into the ground, and that's where Boganantar initiated Babaji in the Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, the exact spot. So I like Bogar. I like his
yeah,
philosophy. He's an enjoyer.
Hmm.
He enjoys everything.
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta
he,
enjoy life.
Exactly.
he's an enjoyer. No matter what happens, he enjoys everything about it.
Yeah. Tribal people mainly hunt and eat, right? In India, they do that, and they pray to nature, and but they
Yeah,
keep make sure that they don't keep the balance. They don't hunt all the animal at once, you know. So they just keep the
yeah,
balance. So that is how your body should be. Like whatever you eat, just be balanced about it. Not much, not less. Also,
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge other people for what they want to eat. I just gotta do what's
yeah.
right for me.
yeah, true.
My sister is pure vegetarian. She cooks meat for us, but she doesn't eat, you know.
Mm,
And she was a
Wow.
hardcore non-vegetarian, like few years back. She decided and she just quit, and then now she quick cook for us, but she doesn't eat. So all kind of people exist. Like I
mm,
eat maybe thrice a month non-veg. Some people eat daily. Some people, they can't survive without non-veg. Even in India, there are people like, if you give choice to my brother, he will always eat non-veg. So
Mhm.
I think everything is right or wrong, but this is
Yeah.
your conscious decision. If you, why you stop eating non-veg? Is it because of your health, or is it because you see suffering in animals, or is it because you like, you want to be healthy or whatever? So this is your decision. So don't force yourself. That is what I'm saying. You don't have this guilt. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good advice. Yeah. Yeah. It's whatever. Yeah. Whatever. Why you're doing it. What feels good to you.
Mm. Because right now you're enjoying it non-veg. What if 10 years down the line you say no, I don't enjoy it anymore? What if you open a vegetarian restaurant and you think that no, I'll be eating I'll be vegetarian from now, right? So anything can change anytime,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And then a lot of people that are vegetarian for years and years, then they have all these health problems. So they're like, well, maybe they
Hmm.
were doing something wrong, or they needed to eat meat because they have
Huh.
problems with their teeth. I don't know. So
Yeah, because this no vegetarian people mostly, they are deficient with protein, because they are not having sufficient protein sources. Like there are many sources, but they, because now they also have this choice to eat this or that, because they have many options. So they, most of the time unconsciously, they don't eat protein. They don't see that in their diet they have less lentils or soya beans or whatever the protein source. So that is why they suffer. But if
yeah.
in vegetarian diet also, if you have this balanced diet, like little carb from rice or roti, then vegetables from like veggies from vegetables, and one cup of this dal, which we said lentils, which is a protein source, or soya beans or whatever, then it's a complete vegetarian diet. But they don't do that. They are just into roti and veggies, that's it. Like
Yeah.
90%, I think Indians who are vegetarian are, they are deficient in protein, and they are not aware, not at all aware. And protein is the building block of our body, right? Everything is made up of amino acids and protein. So eventually many diseases will come up.
I don't know. When I was a vegetarian, I like to do soups because you can put all kinds of things in that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, lots of greens, vegetables, whatever, legumes, or rice, whatever I don't know. You can be. I don't know. I felt like I was getting everything I needed that way.
Yeah, Gurudev must be eating this thupa something, right? A bowl where they have meat, soup, noodles in Thailand.
Yeah, they have everything like that. So
Mm.
yeah, I eat soup,
Vegetable.
vegetables, salad,
Mm.
everything, all of the
Mm.
above.
Is your
Mm.
daughter a vegetarian, or does she eat meat?
No, she eats meat,
Okay.
but in Thailand, it's not like America. It's kind of a little bit of chicken mixed with rice, so it's kind of like some soup, and it's kind of balanced also.
Okay.
So it's
Mhm.
not like a big portion of meat. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little bit of meat mixed in, kind of similar to India too.
yeah. Vedagurudev seems tired.
Yeah, I think maybe we should.
Yeah.
We've had
Even
a
I'll
very
go and
wonderful
eat, because
conversation. Like,
yeah, we were
All this
talking
talk
about
of
food. Now I'm
food is getting
hungry.
me
yeah,
hungry.
yeah, I feel like we were
Yeah,
torturing
even
you.
I'm hungry.
I'm
I
like
just woke up.
maybe I should eat.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm being a bad
it's
person talking
okay.
about food.
God,
No,
God
it's
wanted
okay. Don't
us
worry.
to eat. Yeah. Okay, guys. Then see you
Okay.
guys in the next
Well,
class.
Or you could stay
Uh,
around to the end. We'll say our
yeah,
mantras
let's say our
after we
mantras.
go.
yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. We want to wrap it up now?
Yeah, I think we've done
Yeah.
3.5 hours. I think we've had a good satna.
Okay, great. So who's ever watching this on YouTube, we do our weekly sadhana every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and join the free Kriya Yoga School, freekriyayogamasterclass.com, and we'll see you next week. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Baba